Finally, the one night my favorite show's on and I take it off. It's back after being on this long hiatus. Brand new season, can't wait. Jesus Christ. Hello?
Hello, Batsy.
What do you want?
Well, just...
My favorite show's on now, leave me alone.
Oh.
I don't want to talk to you right now. Leave me alone.
Fine.
It's my night off.
Goodbye.
That's right. What the fuck? Hello?
Hello, Batman. I've got a...
No!
What?
Leave me alone.
I've got hostages.
God. Jesus Christ.
Riddle me this...
Fuck off, Riddler. Not tonight.
Huh?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing out there? Welcome back to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom Connors. I'm going to introduce our panel tonight. Just want to say we ain't got no time for no drama. Save that for your mama. We ain't got no space for no cooks or soul boys here or blue-haired land whales or red-haired hoppies. So let's get this shit on the road. We got Script Doctor with us. We got Paulie with us. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man.
Doing great. It's great to be back. We had a little bit of a hiatus there.
A little bit?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I just realized this is like my fourth year doing this now. 4 years. So 4 seasons of Midnight's Edge After Dark. Hopefully you guys like the Batman cartoon. You can back that up and check it out if you didn't see that. We got some people coming in. Welcome. We got Stephanie Janicek in the chat. How you doing? Ironcaster, Duck Nation, Troy Pacelli. All the regulars are coming in. We got Queen Elizabeth. Diego's in the chat. How you doing, Diego? Maybe we'll send you the link after a bit. If not, we got Dash Deese. We got Duck Nation here. I said that already, didn't I? Carries is a new member. Welcome. We got to do a member stream. I think we're going to do that this week. We got Goddess of Whim here. Excellent. So glad everybody's here to join us. We've had a bit of a break. How you been, Script Doctor? How you doing? What you been up to?
I'm doing well. Been writing away, getting things in order for the fall's productions that are coming up, and just trying to balance everything out with all the stuff that's going on. It's great. I mean, the province is slowly opening up where I am, so I'm excited. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to do some international travel. Looking forward to that, and just plugging away.
Excellent. We also got Willie Woodward here. We got Game Trava, who says posting for the first time. Hello. Welcome. Paulie, I know we've been busy as shit.
Yeah, I never see you. I never
see you. Never talk to you. Don't know who you
are.
Don't
talk.
Never.
We don't text each other while we're sleeping.
Know just what we're saying. Okay, anyway.
Right now, I'm just trying to convince people that Mexicans know how to swim.
Is that a problem?
Don't fucking get it twisted.
Why aren't you on camera? Where's that sexy face of yours?
Oh, man.
Come on. Don't make me the only one. You can take it off once we get to the things.
No,
I want to see that sexy mug.
I'm all in the dark and shit.
I'm trying to find the right hat.
I thought this was I thought this was like the chill stream.
Well, it is, and we'll go off screen. I normally ain't on camera. I thought I'd just treat everybody to seeing my ugly mug, and once we get to the stories, we'll go off camera or whatever. But
I got action figures up in here.
We got Snowdub in the house. We've got Vertical Horizons here now. Hail everybody! Hail indeed, Todd Tyler. Welcome. Everybody's rolling in. We want to thank you for being here. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. It's been a while, been a spell. Like I said, we're on our 4th season here at Midnight's Edge After Dark. It's been a wild ride. So yeah. But without further ado, let's get to some of these news stories. Script. We're not fans of Batwoman here. We don't watch it. Az watches it, so we don't have to. But it looks like we have a new Batwing.
Well, I mean, yeah, this was an eventuality if the show is going to keep going. Lucas Fox was introduced as Batwing in the comics some time ago. Never was a fan of the name Batwing. Felt I mean, that's the name of the plane that Batman flies. So it's kind of silly. I also have the same issues, kind of like with Dick Grayson's Nightwing. Like I like him on his own, but Nightwing doesn't seem as iconic of a name either, in my opinion. But it is what it is. And so what we get here is the actor who plays the tech guy is finally going out in the field, and they got basically a motorcycle outfit and threw in some plastic and an LED light and put him out on for the season 3, which is happening for some reason.
They ain't gonna cancel this thing, right?
No, probably not. It's got the lowest TV ratings of any show with the network outreach that the CW has ever. I think its averages between 0.4 and 0.3, which on your traditional networks would be an instant cancellation. But on the CW, it's staying there.
Well,
yeah.
I kind of feel like if they cancel it, it'd be like beating up, the special kid.
It could be perceived that way. I mean, the actor who plays Luke Fox is the only one there that's really got some huge skill. I've seen him in some other stuff. He's okay. Like he holds his ground there. In Batwoman, it's passable for what it is. So
it's like a bowel movement.
You need some fiber to get through it, but yeah.
Well, you said it's passable, so
it's passable. Yeah, it's like a kidney stone. It's passable. Has some pain to it, but you can pass it.
I said, "Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, a Batwing and a prayer. Take my awful costume and we'll make it. I swear." Yeah, a Batwing and a prayer.
Well, like I do know that Dougray Scott is still there, and I think in the most recent episode, I haven't watched it yet, but I did read some stuff on it that they disbanded the whole private security thing, the Crows that is there. So there's no more secondary private police force in the city. It's just the Gotham PD and Batwoman's team now with Batwing, I guess.
Yeah. Stephen Otten sends in $5. Thank you so much for that. It says, "Greetings, Tom, Polyscript, Wrenches, and Midnighters. Sorry I'm late." No, you're not late. I was busy adulting. We were actually late.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for a couple panelists and for that Batman cartoon to upload. But we did do a new Batman cartoon. You might want to back up for that. Maybe we'll play it again here in between.
I got to play it again in a little while.
Yeah, we might play it when we get some more people in here, just because it's funny.
No, the scary thing is that I'm 6 years sober. So imagine me singing. I don't need to be high when I'm already flying. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm Brownwing. Fuck yeah.
I don't have a problem with this, I guess. But I just don't care. I haven't cared. I don't care.
It's probably going to generate a ratings boost. Because I mean Luke Fox, his character in the show has been far more rational and reasonable than any of the other characters, and if they maintain that consistency, that could change the course of the series. But really, it feels like it's a Hail Mary at this point.
Well, in this Camrus Johnson, I don't recognize the name, but I think I've seen him before in other things. Help me out.
Yeah, he's been in a few other things. Just trying to pull up the
by looks. I have no idea. I mean, I thought this show was canceled.
He was in the Cake TV series.
They did a TV series of that movie.
Yeah. Well, not really. It's a different thing. But if you saw the Luke Cage. If you saw the Luke Cage, the Marvel Luke Cage,
that's probably where I recognize him from, because I did like that quite a bit. All right, I knew I'd seen him somewhere before. Dash D sends in a Canadian $2, for our Canadian brethren. Would have the Red Hood been a better choice? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
But again, that's a straight white guy. So
yeah,
they already filled that quota with Dougray Scott. So
we can only have so many.
That's right.
That's right.
According to CW, it seems to be the case.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
It's just like what Tom said. It's like, who cares? I really don't care about this show.
I mean, The only response I'm seeing on social media right now is people are liking the costume, which I'm not impressed by. I'm a little familiar with this company. They can do some really great stuff, but they're never given the money by studios to do what they can pull off. So they just get off the rack stuff and some, plastic and polyfoam and slap something together that's quick and cheap, so that they can keep their lights on until a studio with some actual resources hires them to do what they do best. So it's kind of a little bit of a shame here.
Techman Blade. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, like if you scroll down, they'll show some other shots, I think, of the costume, and you look at it, like, this.
Oh, I got some other pictures here, yeah. But Techman Blade says Red Hood is already over at the Titans series.
Doesn't matter at this point. It's under the same umbrella.
True. They could just move it over or what have you. Yeah, here's the one picture with the actual hood on or the helmet on there. You can zoom in a little bit.
They're doing a whole Dark Knight thing from looking up from the street level to the moon.
It's not horrible looking.
Mask is a little too big for the body.
A little bit.
Yeah. But that's your off the rack leather bike pants with a couple of little add-ons.
Yes. I mean, it looks a little Ant-Man-ish. The helmet.
Well, it's fit to the. It's a general size, so they can use it for stunt guys. So stunt men have different size heads. People have different size heads. So
and that's probably why they won't show his face. I was just going to say, what's the point of boasting a black Batman or Batwing or whatever the hell you want to call him if you're not even going to see half of his face?
I think that has to do with the fact that the actor is not a very tall man, and finding stunt people of that height is a little tricky. So I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of stuntmen of various different ethnicities who are able to do the thing. I mean, he's like between 5'5" and 5'8".
Yeah.
So,
Stephen Otten says, I watched 3 minutes of Batwoman once. I am so sorry for that. Why did you do such a thing to yourself? We got PJ from Marvel Nation in the chat. How you doing, PJ? Diego comes in with $2 Peruvian, or 2 Peruvian souls, I should say. It's Kamen Rider, he says.
A little bit. I mean, it is barely
like 10 minutes in. I made it 10 minutes.
Really?
Of that first episode. The first one with the new chick. I never saw it anything. I've only seen 10 minutes, and that's it.
Oh wow, that's nothing. But I've seen a season and a half. Now the costume is kind of accurate to I think the first comic book depiction of the guy. Because he did have his entire face covered, but later on I think he opens up the mouthpiece and gets some some retractable wings, if I recall correctly, or something.
Interesting. Somebody said it also looked like Optimus Prime. I was trying to find that comment here. It does look like Optimus Prime. There it is. Yeah, I agree. Iron Man, Batman. Yeah.
Roll out. Where's my wings?
Yeah.
Very yes.
Yeah. Y'all are agreeing on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't have anything to add. I don't really watch the show. I don't want to sit here and shit on it or anything. But yeah, like James says here, Az watches it for us. I mean, I just listen to him freak out on it, and I know well enough that I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Nikki D coming in with $5. Thank you so much. Says, think the Loki series will be positively received by audiences. I don't know. That's a good question. I think some of the reviews are starting to come out already, aren't they, guys? Have you guys seen it all
this week, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I've seen a review. Yeah, I'll maybe we'll grab some reviews here in a little bit. We got a couple other stories we want to get to too.
Yeah,
but
really quick, they have been positive. But
okay, well then that's the early buzz. Is that at least the reviews are positive? But we'll see how that rolls.
There's someone who I follow. I like their opinion, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't know." But anyways, I'll definitely see it.
And Pilgrim Media sends in $2. Thank you so much. Says, Mead, opinion on Phantom Menace beef. Well, you must have missed the intro. I said we ain't got no time for drama. To keep that for your mama. We're not getting into all that business here. Sorry for that. But why? What did you have to say there, Paulie?
I will say that there will be a Latino rant therapy session later on tonight. If you want to discuss any of your Phantom Menace qualms, I'm here to listen.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not what we're about. So we appreciate the super chat, though. Yeah, not getting into it.
The only beef I got is a roast beef sandwich, and it's
That's
delicious.
right.
Eso.
That's
Eso.
right.
I got ribs
So,
roasting right now. Slow roast.
Oh, envy
Slow
of the
roasting.
Slow. It's been like 3 hours now, these ribbies.
Yeah. So I got no real care for that, but that's the top news story today. In other news, who wants a Christine reboot or remake or reimagining?
I just like John Carpenter's film.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
me too.
the 80s Christine was just so like,
It's done pretty well.
Yeah.
very, very memorable. So what's the story with this?
Well, Bryan Fuller is. Whoops.
You somehow muted yourself.
Stephen King's Christine is getting a big screen reboot with Bryan Fuller directing for Sony Pictures and Blumhouse. Hannibal and Star Trek Discovery creator Bryan Fuller is I would not want that in there.
I mean, it's a half truth at this point.
It's a half truth, yeah.
The poor guy. I feel for him on that. But I guess to get on to point with the actual subject of the article.
Yeah. Creator Bryan Fuller is attached to make his feature directing debut. He's never directed a feature before?
Nope.
Really? Oh, I didn't
Lots
know
of
that.
TV stuff, yeah. And he's worked on some features and a writing capacity and production capacity. But
This is a bigger deal than I thought. So he's going to try to adapt Stephen King's Christine. Now, this wouldn't be the first time one of Stephen King's novels has been readapted.
There's a couple of made-for-TV movies of Christine. If I recall correctly.
I don't know about Christine, but I know there's been a few of his other ones that have been. I think Christine's only been done once, if I'm not mistaken. I know
Carrie's been done. Christine.
Shining.
Was this guy involved with The Stand? The recent one?
I don't think so.
No, he was involved recently with. He did Hannibal.
Yeah.
And
The Stand was
he's
horrible,
a writer
man.
from Star Trek Voyager. Yeah,
I mean that thing was DOA. It just kept getting worse too.
Yeah, it did.
It made the 90s one look like a fucking epic.
It did. And that new ending that Stephen King wrote, I was just like, what the fuck?
Like that's supposed to be a positive, right?
Exactly. Right. It was like, and it still had the old, basically the old ending's still there. They just tacked on this extra bullshit. I'm just like, what is this? It seems more like you're setting up a TV series. It's never going to happen.
Well, and they always say it's more in line with the book this time.
Yeah.
And then it's mamadas, you know what I mean?
It may have been a little bit, but it was all out of order. Pilgrim Media, thank you again for donation, says, your thoughts on Tarantino possibly retiring?
Ooh.
He's been talking about that for years, but I also remember an interview with him where he's like, I got a kid now, and I'm sure once she starts going to school, I'm going to get bored, and I'll probably want to make some more movies. The other part is he's been wanting to write more, like novels. He's been, because he's doing the novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If that's not already out, that's supposed to be coming soon and have extra bits added to it. And then he's also doing a full-blown TV series of Bounty Law with Leonardo DiCaprio over at Netflix.
Yeah, he's got the first 3 episodes already shot because he did that during the initial filming.
Yep.
And he's finishing it off with Netflix. But again, like as you said, he said he was going to retire after 10 movies that he directed and wrote. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to retire fully from directing because, again, he likes doing that, and he's not going to retire from writing either because he's Tarantino.
And it's not a signed contract either. He just says he wants 10 movies. Yeah. He just wants, he's been working
10 signature films that are definitively his,
Yeah, 3 decades he's been working. He just kind of wants to, or wait, it's been 4 almost now, hasn't it? No, it's been 3 decades. He just, I get it where he's coming from, but I have a feeling he'll never retire. He'll back out of it after a while, especially when his kid gets to be a teenager, because teens ain't got no time for their parents.
Yep. Yeah, he'll have that little break, and then all of a sudden he'll come back, and it'll be a big Tarantino return, and it'll be what it is. Who knows what it'll be?
Yeah, unless his wife starts spitting out a bunch of kids, I don't see that happening. Hey, PJ sends in $5. Says, I was about to write that it's nice to see Tom on camera, and he goes and turns it off. Well, for these, I'm kind of small. I'm up here, and it's kind of pointless. But,
Thanks, PJ.
Thank you, PJ. But now you're making Paulie mad because I am peer pressuring him. Goddess of Whim, thank you so much for sending in $5. Says, having connection issues, so going to be a little behind. Does that mean Rob succumbed to that aneurysm?
Oh my god.
I don't know how to answer that.
No drama.
No drama, please.
I will say that Tarantino has just a voracious appetite of cinema. I just never see him totally
Why?
retiring until he dies. I mean, that's the type of guy. That's just how he's wired. He's always got to be doing stuff.
Exactly.
And he picks up genres that are either dying or sort of forgotten or underplayed, and just gives them the new life for people. So I think he's just kind of going through them right now. So he's done the crime, he's done the martial arts, he's done some westerns, and now he's done some classic Hollywood and western. But he's still kind of on that kick for the moment. There's a couple left that he has to do. There's sci-fi and noir, and who knows if that's going to happen. So you got to stay tuned and see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I also don't see. I mean, maybe Tom retiring just from directing for a while, but he can write, he can produce, he can bring in like for that minute he was bringing a lot of old school martial arts movies to the States.
Yep.
He can go and do some fun shit with Rodriguez. He can do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, like the Grindhouse stuff he did was fun. I mean, I enjoyed some of Death Proof, not all of it, but it had its moments that were fun, and you're like, yeah, this is good. This is the type of stuff he wants to hone in on that voice a little more and do it out. Everybody's gonna have a lot of fun with those types of films, and so he has any capacity he wants to do it in. Yeah.
I can keep going on, but I won't.
Yeah, because there's some also cool fun facts regarding this article that we could cite after some of these super chats that have just popped in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into the article some more. But Diego, I missed this one earlier. Sorry about that. Says Brian Blessed is doing a 24-hour silence challenge. Who's Brian Blessed? That I do not know. Why does that not?
Gordon's alive. Brian Blessed.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
the actor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why?
Oh,
from Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
he's doing a 24-hour. Why is he doing a 24-hour silence challenge? I don't
Explain yourself, Diego.
Yeah, you have to
elaborate, sir.
You don't have to send another super chat. Just at me. Yeah. Let's see here. Then we got Stephen Otten says script. Do you know what happened to Children of the Corn remake? That was filmed during the pandemic. I remember. That's right. I remember we talked about it. I don't know if you were on that show. But yeah, they did. I can't remember who filmed it, but I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to look that up again. I can't remember now. But when we get after this article, you'll have to remind me of that. Pilgrim Media says, I would like to see him do a Sam Spade movie. You mean Bryan Fuller?
No, Tarantino.
Tarantino. Oh, yeah, Tarantino. Yeah. Tarantino can do anything. I would watch Tarantino make a movie about mopping the floor.
If it wasn't for the stupid age that we're in, right? Someone said a musical, right? Now, hear me out. A dark, edgy remake of Zoot Suit, Tarantino style.
If anybody could, it's him.
Because it's got like all those elements, like the gangs and murder, who did it. Then it's got like different music. It's a period piece. That would be dope. Yeah, because that shit needs to be redone. Because that really wasn't a film. It was more like them filming their play. Because they had a couple bucks. So yeah, but
give it the proper treatment. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, if someone has said like Sam Spade, well, all right, then there's the film noir, the Blue Dahlia, or what is it, Black Dahlia?
Black Dahlia, yeah.
Blue Dahlia,
and LA Confidential.
Right, and so I'm like, well, a music, to do something really different, a musical of that, an LA story is the Zoot Suit story. I mean, that would just be crazy. Mm-hmm.
Diego says that he is doing it for Faye's charity. Good for him. Just the man is known for his boisterous voice, so a 24-hour challenge is incredible. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Dead OC says Tarantino do a remake of Grease. Oh my God, I met this girl I was in like Amsterdam, and like they don't have the metric system.
Summer love.
He
Happy
cannot just save John Travolta's career for a second time.
Oh my god! Like my hair is so amazing,
Vinny Barbarino.
Mr. Carter.
I don't have any hair anymore.
I don't know what to do. But yeah, there was the Children of the Corn made in 2020. Looks like here. I don't know what happened.
Blue Dahlia is not a porn film. It's a French movie that had a lot of sex. All right, and yes, it opens up where the French couple is going at it.
I guess this is out.
It's pretty R-rated.
Oh, this is the Australian one.
Yeah, evidently it's out already.
I wasn't familiar with this. I mean, I knew about the one in Australia, but I didn't know of it. I thought it was he was referring to like a Hollywood industry.
Yeah, I guess so. It didn't even make it barely made $1,000. How did they get the rights to this?
Wow. Is it like streaming?
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I suppose the Miramax had the rights, Dimension, whatever. Then they probably lapsed there, I'd imagine. It's the 11th film, though. Wow, they got 10 out of those bastards.
Well, didn't we say like what are the Magic 9? The other day we're talking about the 9.
I was trying to remember.
And we were saying how The Conjuring has now 9. Was that you, Script?
We were talking about The Conjuring.
We were talking about The Conjuring, but I don't remember.
I don't remember about that, but we were counting how many they have.
In the modern age, like what's the best? What
Well,
rivals,
that was what you and I were talking about.
Right.
Was, yeah. I think
What
they got
rival?
7 movies, yeah. But like, yeah, as far as what's next right behind Marvel, yeah, we were talking about how the Conjuring series is always overlooked and how big it is.
Yeah.
How much money do you think
horror
those
is
made?
a genre that doesn't die. That's the thing. So
Right.
Altogether, I think they've made quite a bit. I'd have to look, but
No, I meant Script. How much do you think they make them for? They make them pretty on the cheap.
oh gosh, yeah, they're like, I'd be surprised if any of them broke 70 million in production.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So you can imagine they're like basically jokers every time they got one out, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that's through that is through Blumhouse, isn't it? Yeah. No.
I just saw the recent one, guys,
Warner.
in the chat.
Warner does
Warner.
the Conjuring. Blumhouse does what used to be the Dark Universe. Now they got the rights to those characters.
Which one does the Paranormal Activity ones? Is that Blumhouse?
I think that's.
I don't-
Blumhouse.
is
I
it?
can't
Because whoever
remember.
does those are like some of the highest grossing horror series too. Diego Flores says Tarantino will retire and become an executive producer and take control of productions. Technically speaking, still retired from directing, but not films. That doesn't mean he won't write either.
And
He's
he
got to
can change
have
his
something creative going on, Diego.
I really feel like he's going to be really heavy duty into writing. What's up, assos?
mind. Hey, Chris. Yeah,
We could bring
Blumhouse
Christie's
does do paranormal.
Smart ass in here.
They've
Bring
got
her
the
in, man.
yeah.
Blumhouse
They got
does
the
paranormal.
best
Okay.
they have the best production formula, which is like low budget, great script, easy to shoot, and then you're almost guaranteed to make your money back on that.
And they kind of do what Dimension and Miramax used to do back in the day. Film a bunch of movies, put them on a shelf, wait till one of the stars becomes a big hit, and then they release
they don't
it.
even keep their stuff on the shelf; they just put it out there.
Well, I've known Blumhouse to do that. They'll hold them off a little bit sometimes. And then when they get a star, because wasn't it like that Death Day or whatever was one that was sitting on the shelf for a little while?
Mhm.
There was a couple of them where they've done that now.
I don't know if it was. I remember the script was sitting on the shelf for a while, but then the production kicked off and
Oh,
went.
shit. I'm sure. No. Actually, people like that.
I
haven't
heard
seen
that.
it. But all I know is when I saw the trailer, I'm like, that looks like Final Destination or whatever.
It has probably one of the better openings to a horror film in a while, though. But yeah,
I know people have talked good about it. Adam Wolford says Tarantino should do the Dark Tower movie series. Hell yes. I think it fits his weird vision on how his movies are. Dark Tower would work with a mix of fantasy and sci-fi. I agree. But let's get into this article real quick. I sent the link to Christy if she wants to hop in. I'm sure she's got something to say about this. I know
Okay,
she's
real
a horror
quick.
fan. Yeah.
Tom.
Mhm.
So the Conjuring is, I believe, 8 movies deep.
Oh,
right
8
now.
movies now. Okay. There you go. Real quick here. Also, Prigler Media asks if Tarantino writes his own scripts. Yes. The only movie of his that he didn't write the original story for was Jackie Brown.
Rum Punch.
Mhm.
Yep. And then he technically came up with the idea of Kill Bill with Uma. But he did all the writing part of it. So there you go.
And
Yes.
And others have.
He's actually ghost written on a lot of scripts too.
Yes,
Did you
it
hear
has.
about that ghost writing on the submarine movie?
Yes, Hunt for Red October.
Yes. No, not Hunt.
Christy,
Sup?
is it the other one? Which other one? I thought he did
Hi,
for Hunt for Red
Christy.
October
What,
too.
Crimson Tide?
Or Crimson Tide. That's what I was thinking of. You're
Crimson
right.
Tide.
You're right. I'm sorry. You are correct. That is correct.
And when he rewrote that whole little thing about the was it about the horses?
Something like that. Yeah, he's worked on a few other ones too.
And
Yeah.
then Denzel took him to the side, talking about the use of the N-word in his movies. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that story.
All right.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah,
Hi.
he wrote,
How you
yeah,
doing,
he wrote
Christy?
True Romance. Like
Good.
that's his script. And
Yeah, he wrote True Man. I know, but he's not even credited on scripts that he's written on before. Didn't he supposedly write on like Coyote Ugly, and Kevin Smith did too, and a bunch of other people worked on that fucking script?
yep.
God.
Ooh, I like Coyote Ugly.
That movie is much better than it has the fucking right to be.
It really is.
I have
And
a
you can-
Coyote Ugly story.
Do you? Well, I was just going to say, Kevin Smith claims that none of his lines made it into that movie, but I say bullshit. Every line that John Goodman says sounds like a Kevin Smith line, but go ahead with your story.
Oh, Romy opened up the New York Coyote Ugly back in the day, and I still
Oh,
have her
really?
photos. I still have her photos. Anyways,
That's sweet. Are they digitized to where we can see them and admire them with the male gaze?
God, wrong.
Oh, he's going to kill me. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. Well, we've got to get into this story, though. Christy, though, before we dive into this deeper, how big of a fan are you of John Carpenter / Stephen King's Christine from 1983?
I've seen it a couple times. I like the movie. I remember reading the story itself, but like, please don't remake this. Please don't. Like,
Yeah,
I'm begging you, but like,
I
please
mean, I
don't.
remember the book, but it's been years since I've read it, and I think the original movie was pretty close. I mean, there's stuff that's not in it, obviously, but
Obviously.
there's nothing that I really remember being left out that I was like, oh man, that's lame that they didn't put that in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it hit all the major beats from what I remember. But anyway, so let's read this here real quick. The project is still in early stages. The movie is about a 17-year-old named Arnie who fixes up a 1958 Plymouth Fury that naturally is haunted by its previous not-such-a-nice-guy owner who named the car Christine. Soon, Arnie begins taking on the old owner's personality and appearance, and the car seems to have it out for his best friend, new girlfriend, and anyone else getting between Arnie and Christine. This is Fuller's first foray into features after 3 decades in television, including cult 2000 series Wonder Falls and Pushing Daisies. Fuller left his 2 most recent shows, Discovery and American Gods, after disagreements with their representative networks, CBS, All Access, and Starz. Fuller previously adapted a different King novel, Carrie, that's another one we mentioned earlier, as a 2002 TV movie for NBC, which David Carson directed. So Carrie's been remade 3 times.
Yeah.
Or been made 3 times,
Well,
I should say.
technically, Christine
movies.
has been adapted by Bryan Fuller before.
Really?
Mm.
Yes, in an episode of Star Trek Voyager called Alice, which is season 6, episode 5. It's where they find a shuttlecraft of sorts, and Tom Paris gets linked into it, and it's basically a fairly similar beat for beat for Christine, where the ship's trying to kill people and take Tom away so that they can do their own thing. And so Bryan Fuller has a great deal of history and relationship with this property. And that episode was a pretty decent one, even though it is a Stephen King concept. So yeah, this is kind of him going back to his earlier days.
And I will say this. I mean, I haven't seen Hannibal, and I wish Andre was able to make it tonight, but it was so late that he couldn't. I've heard such great things about that show. I want to think that maybe this isn't a horrible idea, but that original, I mean, the Carpenter one is just so classic. I mean, there's just something about, it's one of those movies where you're just like, yeah, it's a damn near perfect fucking movie. You know what I mean? The only part that I really kind of go, come on is when the fat kid's getting run down. It's like, why didn't you go the other direction? You know, but other than that,
Well,
mean,
the kid hasn't run before. He doesn't know.
I get it, but no, like really, like
I mean,
it's a pretty damn close to being perfect, like kind of screenplay / well edited, paced.
It's all the emotional beats you
shot.
need
Yeah.
to for your audience. Yep.
What were you gonna say, Paulie?
I mean, it's an '80s film. They're all fucking classics, man. Like they really are, and they're getting better. They're getting better with. I mean, most of them. I mean, not everyone, but it gets better over the years. This one,
Yeah, and also as they. Oh, go ahead, Paulie.
no, just as other movies that we've been revisiting from the '80s. But this one, I love this one. I love that kid actor. He was in Back to School.
What?
I can't
Robert
think of
Downey
his
Jr.
name. No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
The one that was also in like Jaws 2 and stuff. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, just there was always something creepy and nerdy about that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played those parts pretty good. This coming in with a little bit of trivia here. It says Coyote Ugly was the last film of Christopher Collins, the original voice of Starscream and Cobra Commander. That's a sad but true piece of trivia for you. There you go. All right. But yeah, no, like, and I think the other thing like this, the article points out, even though the movie was made in the 80s, it takes place in the 70s. So it was already kind of set in a time period, which we kind of had that. I think it was you, Paulie, you and I were kind of talking about that the other day about, when you have films that were kind of made, or maybe it was Stu's script I was talking about on the main channel, but I don't remember. But where we talking about how just, movies were kind of made a bit more evergreen back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah.
Because they knew they had a little bit more of a shelf life that way. Unless it was something like Back to the Future where it was set in a specific time, they didn't really try to pinpoint a time when these movies took place because they knew they'd have life on video and television and all that kind of stuff afterwards, as opposed to now, which everything seems so disposable.
Well, that was the discovery that studios and production houses made during the late 70s and early 80s is that, people are going to be watching this at home. It's not just going to be a once in a while air on television as it used to be. They're going to probably watch it any time and they want to share it with their friends and family. So, we'll keep as much contemporary stuff as we can, but the less we make it so dated, the better. And you could see that, especially in the 80s, not just with film, but also with TV, based on the music. Like the music is the first thing that they would think is like, don't do anything that's now music because it's just going to automatically date it. Do something that's like a little bit on the classical side that has a little bit of like a mystery with regards to where it actually came from. They cited like James Bond had, like, aside from their main titles of their singers, like the general orchestral stuff of James Bond kind of transcends the decades. Star Trek was able to do that with their theatrical films, and Star Wars, obviously, it harkens back to the old serial days, but it still has its own voice to it and whatnot. And especially with regards to like John Carpenter, the guy who did the Christine, like he does the music for his films, and you can listen to them at any time and be like, that's of that movie. That's not of that decade, so to speak.
They're definitely John Carpenter. But not speaking of just of John Carpenter's soundtrack, the musical soundtrack was also there was no new music on it. It was all classic tunes outside of Bad to the Bone.
Yep.
I think that was the only new original song on there, if I remember right. Which I think was the debut of that song too, if I remember correctly. Because the rest of the music is like keep on knocking, but you can't come in, and shit like that. And all that stuff's in the book. I remember that because it even says it in the book too. Like the song starts playing and shit.
I mean, John Carpenter, shit, dude, come on.
But Glinzer, I noticed you picked up on this one, Paulie. I think Glinzer's right here. Maximum Overdrive deserves a remake.
Yes, remake the shitty ones that just didn't work out.
That used to be the rule. Is
what the hell is Maximum Overdrive?
You've never seen Maximum Overdrive, Christy?
No.
Wait, how did we miss that on our?
Oh my goodness!
Did we miss that on our?
We must have,
reviews?
or if we mentioned it, she didn't know it then. You've got to. It's got to be on some streaming service somewhere. You've got to do yourself the favor of watching that. You will love the shit out of it, Christy. It is every great 80s fucking horror movie thing in one movie, directed by Stephen King, music by AC/DC, and starring Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, but it was kind of a mess of a movie.
I don't give a shit.
Wait, no. This came on like USA or something like that.
It might have been on television.
I know it, but like it's
the one with the killer like vehicles and everything that's electrical comes to life. Yeah.
The best thing about it is the poster, movie poster.
I like that movie unapologetically. I don't care. Oh yeah, it's on Blu-ray, Stephen Otten. There's actually a special edition out there. It's pretty cool. Somebody actually found the original Green Goblin face,
Yeah.
and they have a whole video on there about about how they restored it. It's really cool because it was just laying in the back of a junkyard. So I'm glad they found it and saved it.
I think they thought it was part of like a Marvel ride until they realized, no, wait, this is from the movie.
At first I don't think they really knew what it was because it was in such rough shape. But then, they completely restored it. It's really cool.
Congratulations.
It's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on this one.
Yeah,
because that first one's, one of those really good Stephen King adaptations.
And not only that, it's a John Carpenter classic. Like, you don't remake a John Carpenter film.
Poor John Carpenter just keeps getting shit on with remakes, man.
I know. He's like, he should have had a bigger impact in the industry than he did. And it's a disappointing because he had great takes on how to do some stuff.
Here's the thing I don't like about with the remakes every 20 years, because you have something like A Star is Born. You have the most recent version with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. It was amazing. I love the singing. I love the portrayal, and you could tell that Bradley Cooper put his heart and soul into it. But I can guarantee in another 20, 30 years, there's going to be another damn remake. And that's...
Yeah, King Kong's the same way.
Remake of Star is Born, and that was incredible. The 70s one was all right.
Yeah,
but those things, it's like kind of like with Scarface, where we talked about it. It's like it has to disappear from pop culture.
I think The Star is Born is more like King Kong. Like it's just one of those movies that you can keep retelling the story in different ways. Mm-hmm. Like because there's not a version of King Kong I really don't like.
You can't tell in different ways. It's the same story, bro. But
it is. But look at you got King Kong, the original. And then you have the 76 remake, which is a very different take on the story. Sure, the main beats are still there, but it's a very modernized take on it. And then you went back to the old school version of it with Jackson, but all he did was just, give you the newer version. And then you have the newest one, which was Skull Island, which is a completely different take on the character, which, I've argued is a little bit more in line with the old Toho version of the character. But regardless, it's a character in a storyline. It's actually been remade in other ways too. I don't know if you know this, but there's like a musical animated version of Kong. There's been a stage play, but it's just one of those stories.
But what I mean by that, but like with King Kong, you have those different types of things, but with A Star is Born, I can tell you automatically it's going to be the same plot. It's going to be the same storyline. He's going to end up dying, and
spoilers.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
If you haven't watched the first one, and even the first Star, the title A Star is Born wasn't even done till Judy Garland. The first actual movie of it was in the 30s. So it's the same. I'm trying not to cuss so bad on here. I really am.
It's after dark. You can cuss all you want.
But what I mean by that, it's just I could tell you, she's like a rag. It's a rags to riches story. He is past his prime. He sees her, and they make really awesome music or whatever they do together. She gets popular. He gets jealous, and he ends up killing himself. Sorry, it's just so annoying. Why remake that shit when you could have original screenplays? But then I think about how the Hollywood machine is, to where there's probably stuff out there we just haven't seen it yet, and I don't like that.
Yeah, well, and that's understandable. And again, I'm not really for remakes. I'm not against them all the time either, especially readaptations. But this is another one where I'm just I don't know. Because obviously you got to set it in a time period as well. You can't not. I mean, because of the car and other certain things in the story, unless you're going to completely redo it, which I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about this time because Bryan Fuller, he's a very weird and eccentric guy. So if he does a faithful adaptation, that could be fun. If he tries to modernize it, it's probably going to be like the Tesla's AI takes over or something. I don't know. It'd just be like again, I'm very curious, but I would like some more information. But again, this is just recently announced. The fact that it's Blumhouse, we know it's probably going to be a very effective and lean film, which is good because they do not like to do big budget stuff. And yeah, so I mean, it's not necessarily bad news. It's just very interesting and curious news.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Who knows? We might end up liking it. I guess it depends just on the script and stuff like that.
I mean, from my recollection, I think his version of Carrie was pretty faithful to the original. So we'll see here. Glenzer, yeah, it was pretty close to the book. Not to the De Palma movie, but it was closer to the book. Glinzer sends in $5. Says best remakes in your opinion. I vote for The Thing, followed closely by The Fly. Yeah, the '80s rule. That's a good question. Let's start with Christy. What are your favorite remakes of what few are that you might enjoy?
Why don't you go ask Script Doctor real quick and I'll come back to you.
Well, no, they already answered mine. Like, I think The Thing is one of the best examples of like a perfect way to take a remake. I mean, granted, it's closer to the original short story. Than
I was going to say it's actually more of a readaptation. But yeah.
I mean, Aliens. I mean, you could kind of say is a remake from It, the Thing that came from outer space. I think it was because it's about an alien that gets aboard a spaceship and starts slowly killing off one.
Didn't they have to pay off the writer to that or some shit?
I think they did, yeah.
Because I have that movie too, and you're right. Yeah, it's pretty close in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, the overall premise and the motivations of the actual creature is quite identical.
Yeah.
But I mean, it even has a spacewalk scene in the old black and white film too. So yeah. But yeah, I would say. Yeah, The Thing is great. Alien, The Fly, obviously. I mean, both versions of The Fly are actually really a lot of fun. But Cronenberg does Cronenberg, so you can't avoid that. I mean, that's just you fall in love with that one.
I don't want to steal one from Pauly, but probably between Scarface.
Hey. I mean, are we doing just the '80s remakes?
No,
any remake, yeah.
And I've always loved the '76 Kong. So I guess those would be my two picks, I guess. What about you, Pauly?
I mean, you know what I'm going to say.
Scarface, probably.
Scarface is such an amazing remake.
Well, that's how you do a remake right. Definitely.
I mean, Oliver Stone, Brian De Palma, fucking Al Pacino. It's kind of like, yeah, it's just, now that is a what do they call it? A reimagining.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Reimagining.
Yeah, because I remember our conversation was like the things that hold that movie down or the worst bits are actually the couple of things that actually carry over from the original. Because outside of that, it's
right.
Outside of the premise, it's very much not like the original at all.
And then I love Christie's. I really enjoyed A Star Is Born from a few years ago.
Y'all gonna hate my choice.
The Departed was a pretty good remake.
Oh yeah, that was a remake, wasn't it?
But is that really? I mean,
it's from another country in its source.
It's from a foreign film, and then we could say
the
Birdcage.
True Lies.
We could say Birdcage then. The Birdcage.
You could True Lies and stuff like that too.
Y'all are gonna hate my choice because
no, go ahead.
Like I already know like there's a lot of movies that are adaptations or remakes of earlier stuff that I just don't know. But I liked, how A Nightmare on Elm Street, the one that they did like with
you dirty. I knew you were going to.
No. I like how they presented it. I hated the execution, if that makes sense.
I will agree with you because I was with that movie until the last part of it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That to me, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. And then like the last 20 minutes of it,
it turned to shit.
And
I think you're probably thinking the same thing I was, and that was, are they really going to go with this whole idea that Freddy was innocent? That's a totally different take. And I kind of like, whoa, they're going to do something fresh with this. Nope.
Yeah. There's also True Grit. I would say.
Was that the reason, Christy, or was it something else?
Well, yeah, that was the reason. But no, then I see Krusty Mako, whatever how you say that. Moko, whatever.
I love Mako.
But the Ring. So I've seen the Ringu, and oh my God, The Ring is that to me. You know me how I love my horror movies, and for those of you who have seen The Ring, at the very end when she's going after the boyfriend or when she's coming out of the screen, I I knew what was going to happen, but I still blocked it. Like me, a horror movie personified. I didn't want to see that face. So for like 5 years, I purposely did. I covered my eyes during that.
Ooh,
and then I finally decided like at 3 a.m. it was on like TNT or something like that, and I thought I'd watch it. I'm like, oh shit,
that's a perfect hour.
The perfect hour to watch this. And then afterwards, like I had dreams of like waterlogged bodies. After I was like, oh my god, this is such a mistake.
Ooh.
Nice.
Hi Nina.
Hi Nina. Little Shop of
She
Horrors.
wins. Goddess of Whim wins. That's the right answer.
Little Shop.
Well,
Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, that was it was a black and white Jack Nicholson like odd independent movie, but then
Roger Corman shot it
in 2 days.
But
really,
but there
kind
was no
of a bet.
singing. It's not a musical version.
No. Yeah, he made it on like a bet. Like
made it on a bet because they were changing certain industry standards the following Monday.
And they had a built set, so he's like, I bet I can make a movie in 2 days on this set.
So my question is, I mean, obviously, besides the story, how was the Broadway musical connected?
The story is actually almost verbatim, pretty close to the original.
So then, whoever created the Broadway musical just took it from that source.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Broadway musical, because the Broadway, the musical movie with
there is some slight changes, but it works. It's like one of those things where everything that it works so much better in the musical. Like that has got to be the best answer outside of Scarface.
Well, the producers as a musical was also pretty good, but the stage, not the movie. The stage.
I didn't like the music in it though.
Oh, really? I never saw that. Okay.
There's also True Grit with Jeff Bridges.
That's true.
That was a pretty solid one. That's where like it's not better than the original. It's like but
it's a different
right
take.
with it. Yeah, it's right.
We're
with
working
it.
on a top 10 here now, guys.
Yeah, we are almost.
We really are. This is a great top 10.
But I think this is probably a good time before we jump into the next topic. For those who did, we got a couple more super chats here. I always miss a couple here. It seems like.
Did you guys check out my photo I sent you?
Yeah, I saw that. That looks
delicious.
Yeah.
Adam Wolford says they should remake King Kong Escapes. You never know. That's kind of what the new version of Kong is, and they're going to get a lot of. You probably will enjoy a lot of what they're probably going to do with Kong. I bet, especially if they can't do anything with Godzilla or at all for a while. Diego Flores says Muppet Treasure Island. Sorry, I'm too young to have been in the 80s, 1990. No, that's a good answer. I actually will argue that Muppets A Christmas Carol is one of the better, closer adaptations of the book too, because the best part is Well, you got no, I'm serious, because you actually have Gonzo reading lines directly out of the book.
That's true.
And it like that bit where he's like, the Marleys were dead to begin with. Well, that's a pretty morbid beginning. That's how it starts. Like, that's literally like the first line in the book. Like, Bob Marley was dead to begin with is like the first line or whatever. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a fun one. I mean, I still like the Alistair Sim classic.
Yeah. There's plenty of great editions of that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, heck, even our friend Tom Conkle has a parody of Christmas Carol on his channel.
You know, I'm funny we didn't think of that when we were talking earlier when I was bringing up Kong and you brought up Stars Born, Christy. How many different versions of Christmas Carol has been probably remade more than anything?
Absolutely.
God, yeah, there's a Kelsey Grammer one. There's a Patrick Stewart one.
Christmas movie shouldn't count.
One.
You got a point there to a point, Paulie. I'm not going to.
Christmas movie should not count right now.
To a point. Well, Christmas Carol is just one of those stories. Yeah.
I'm gonna write these down just so for our own. So can you guys just say again? I got Scarface,
Little Shop of Horrors, The Fly was mentioned, The Thing,
True Grit,
True Grit,
The Thing, True Grit, and then what, Christy?
The only thing I could think of is like the remake for A Nightmare on Elm Street.
And I strike that from the record.
She did, or he did, but it was good until like the last 20 minutes.
Oh, so we're not adding that?
No.
Well, the Ring is a good one.
You did say The Ring.
The Ring.
We'll let you have The Ring in there.
Oh, thank you so much.
I cannot in good conscience let Nightmare on Elm Street remake be on that list.
You got 7 so far.
I would let Friday the 13th be on there before that, and I hated that one too. We'll have to go back to that. Invasion of the Body Snatchers was a good one too.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one's been remade a
Oh
couple
yeah, the 78 one with
Yeah.
Donald
78
Sutherland?
with Dallas Sutherland. Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't there another one since then?
Oh, I think there's been a couple.
Well, Daniel Craig did one called Invasion, which is
Yeah.
basically that, but it was
That was with Nicole Kidman. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
and
you even
Jeffrey
had
Wright.
then you even had the Puppet Masters with Donald Sutherland in the 90s, which was almost kind of like a remake of it.
What about some of those vampire movies in the early 2000s?
Oh God, there are tons of those. I say Dracula's been remade and redone so many times, and then you had.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right though. There was like the surge in the 80s of like these comedy vampire movies, like Once Bitten and what's the one with George Hamilton?
Oh,
Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite. You also have got Robin Hood. That's been remade many times.
Oh God, yes.
No, but there's got to be one script that like fucking stands out.
No, I know.
That's like my thing with the Christmas movies. It's like, you know, you should do a top 10 of just the
Bram
Christmas Carol.
Stoker's Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola might.
Come on, no,
That's hard. Keanu Reeves is terrible.
That's a shitty movie.
I don't care. I like that.
What about King Arthur and Camelot type shit?
Excalibur.
Excalibur. It's not really
the Clive Owen.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Yeah.
That's a little vague because it's not really off of a specific movie.
Yeah.
It's more off the legend of King Arthur.
It's more off his name, his legend. Not a particular.
We'll have to come back to it.
War of the Worlds, The Mummy.
Willie Woodward says, should remake Metropolis or The Beast Must Die? I'm surprised.
Nobody has the original script of Metropolis. I don't know if you can remake that.
I'm surprised nobody's attempted to. Yeah. Stephanie Janicek says Muppet Christmas Carol rocks. Yes, it does. I think that should be on the list, and Scrooge even deserves it. But I think you're right. If we do that, Paulie will be here all night with Christmas.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, there's been a lot of Zorro films, but The Mask of Zorro was probably one of the that's technically like a sequel to the original, though.
Pilgrim Media says Donnie Darko remake as a musical. You know, I'm surprised they haven't yet. They've got Back to the Future and all these other ones. Did they remake Metropolis, Drew Thompson? When?
There's an anime of it.
Is there?
I know there's an anime.
Check that out. I don't know. I did not know that. The Blob with Amy Schumer. God,
well,
there
was an 80s Blob.
There was that 80s remake.
With the chick from Saw.
Yeah. And it was directed by Chuck Russell, if I remember right. If I'm thinking of the one you're... Anyway, let's show the Batman cartoon and then we'll get into our other story here. Since those who missed it in the beginning, here's the Batman cartoon that kicked off the show. Here we go. Finally, the one night my favorite show's on and I take it off. It's back after being on this long hiatus. Brand new season. Can't wait. Jesus Christ. Hello?
Hello, Batsy.
What do you want?
Well, just...
My favorite show's on now. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you right now. Leave me alone.
Fine.
It's my night off.
Goodbye.
That's right. What the fuck? Hello?
Hello, Batman. I've got a...
No.
What?
Leave me alone.
I've got hostages.
God. Jesus Christ.
Riddle me this...
Fuck off, Riddler. Not tonight.
Huh?
Anyhow, so for those who missed that, our next story, Emilia Clarke. Debut comic book follows a single mom whose secret weapon is her period.
See, I was having so much fun right now.
Well, I think Script Doctor has a few things to say about this, but let's get into the real quick story here.
Yep.
So does the woman of the panel, too.
I'm sure you do. As a kid in London, Emilia Clarke got a distant vibe from her local comic book shop, No Girls Allowed. The Emmy nominee and lead of HBO pop culture juggernaut Game of Thrones and Solo Saver was therefore doomed to spend her adolescence reading hand-me-down comics from her older brother and meeting caped crusaders on the big screen, she said. Oh, I read a lot of fantasy novels full of rich worlds as a child, like Lord of the Rings. That was always the place my imagination would gravitate towards. Later on, when I went to Comic-Con for the first time at 22 with Game of Thrones, I was amazed at what I saw. Almost entirely men. Later, as tides turned in the industry and hashtag Me Too emerged, I began to look at the community through those eyes, and it was arresting, she said. Clark started dreaming about that comic book that might look like her from from her perspective. Ugh. What a comic book might look like from her perspective. A notion that quickly gained steam. She recruited an all-female creative team and made a comic featuring what is undoubtedly one of the most progressive female heroes in the genre. MOM, Mother of Madness, will publish in July from Image Comics, co-written by Clark and Marguerite Bennett of Bombshells and Josie and the Pussycats, with art from Leela Lees of Horde. In doing my research, I found that 16% of comic book creators are females, according to the 2019 study, and only 30% of the comic book characters are women. On the other hand, roughly half of the comic book bios are female. Something did not sit right with me in the exchange, and all these signs were telling me to go make my own, said Clark. Did you happen to go and look and see what, like, the breakdown of a magazine like, say, Playboy was too? And there's tons of chicks in there. Anyway, MOM is centered on Maya, a busy single parent whose life is upended by the discovery of her superpowers. She's a single mom. Oh, that's right, she's British. I forgot to do that. She's a single mom that's got to get shit done. This was born from the idea that single mothers are superheroes. We need superhuman strength to do that. When you get into your 30s and your friends start having kids, you're like, oh my God, I was not aware of what it took. Holy shit, she said. Another key identifier of the character was, I can't even listen to this shit no more. But anyway, the character is that all of her powers manifest from her, get this, menstrual cycle. The bloating, the hair growth, the mood swings, the acne, all of it. We hate
There's more than that.
Like I say, there's worse things than that, woman. Speaking for myself and everyone I've ever met who has had a period, what if we turned that around and made the period something that we can feel as this unique, crazy, superhuman thing that happens in our body? You mean like the time, like the fact that you can make life with it, like make babies and shit, maybe that kind of unique, crazy, superhuman power? But anyway, when Maya is scared, she goes invisible. When she's angry and has superhuman strength, and she can swing like Spider-Man from her armpit hair.
Well, this is from the armpit.
I'm not making this shit up, guys.
I know you're not.
No, but Variety is.
I wish. Through both lenses.
Oh, no, you can see right through this, but yeah, keep going.
This is Clark. She's saying this shit.
Well, they're saying it's Clark, but I happen to know the other writer.
All right, well, we'll get to that. Through both lenses, Clark and her creative team sought to lionize the single mom, whose media depiction is usually one of struggle, sadness, and efforts to rebalance her life with a male partner. When it comes to the menzies, the actor thinks it's way past time that we normalize something that over half the world population experiences. In upcoming editions of the three-part comic miniseries, Maya utilizes inflated boobs to help thwart a human trafficking ring.
Fucking kidding me?
She's so ashamed of her powers at the start. It's mental. Even today, if your tampon falls out of your bag, it's embarrassing. Why? Clark asked. Yeah. Though its topical themes, raunchy humor, the publisher describes the tone of the series as Deadpool action meets Fleabag comedy, lend themselves to film. Oh, there's the key. Clark's ambition was not to create a vehicle for the screen, rather an artifact she can enjoy on my deathbed. Bullshit. Anyway, she's already ticked the box on the comic book adaptations, having joined the cast of Marvel Studios' anticipated Secret Invasion, a Disney Plus original that will explore the shape-shifting aliens introduced in the feature film Captain Marvel. Clark, no stranger to this top-secret television that captivates large fandoms, said her first meeting on the project was with Marvel's security team. The people behind the... who gives a shit about all this stuff? Yeah, it's just talking about all their other crap. And Mother of Madness is in pre-sale right now and hit stands on July 21st. Let's take a look.
It's only pre-sale digitally.
All right, so You were saying something about this whole thing.
Yeah,
Script.
I think this article is written on an interview through email correspondence, and I don't believe Emilia was actually the one typing the words or the answers to the questions, because I've heard her speak many times. I've met her for brief moments twice. This is not her mentality unless something royally has happened in the last.
But it is her menzies.
Maybe it's not her mentality unless something tragic has happened to her in her personal life in the last year that has not become public. But I do know a little bit about Marguerite Bennett, and she is she is fairly talented as a writer, but she does have a whole lot of agenda-driven stuff. She got her start
next Tuesday.
Hold on. She got her start through Scott Snyder because she was a student of his at school, and she was good enough for him to bring her into the DC stratosphere. So she worked on Bombshells, which, if anyone's a fan of DC comics and toys, Bombshells was a toy series where they reimagined some of the characters, the female characters of DC in like World War II settings. And so she was given an assignment to write on that, which did not do well. She then wrote on a couple of other titles at DC and then was subsequently let go because, again, her stuff doesn't sell. And I would also highlight that the situation of this is more like someone came to Emilia asking if she would be willing to be involved in this premise of Mom, which I guarantee you was invented by Marguerite because she is now the co-writer of it. And Emilia's like, yeah, sure, it's a good idea, and it could probably be a funny movie role, and went with it. So now, because Emilia is the name people recognize, nobody knows who Marguerite is. This Variety article is written into a way to try and get investors to be interested in this property. That does not really have anything to do with Emilia, other than she's attached her name on it and is going to have someone representing her doing the talking points in text and give her the coaching her on the talking points for in-person interviews on this so that she can use it to add a franchise to her career as an actor who wants work. So she's kind of like kowtowing into this perspective. And it's tragic because, again, like if you followed her on her social media, like Instagram and her interviews and stuff, she's a very charming, delightful person that doesn't really have room for this type of ideology. And so it comes out of left field. But this is just how things work. Like, Keanu Reeves didn't come up with Berserk. Someone pitched him the idea. He liked it. He got involved, and that's what's happening now. Now he's getting a Netflix series. And we're now seeing the same thing here, but now we're also getting on a premise that was circulated around town in 2015 by a woman writer who was in her 60s, 70s at the time. And the premise was that these three women felt that they had superpowers during their menstrual cycle. And it was a comedy making fun of those three characters believing that they had superpowers when in fact they didn't. What we see here is, and that script went around, like a lot of people read it, was rejected because it just didn't have all the comedic beats that it could translate overseas. So it never went anywhere. And it's right around the time when Marguerite started getting a little bit more interested in exploring other properties. So I wouldn't be surprised if she saw that script, thought the premise was something she could use that would fit in with her own politics, and found the one actor that said yes. Maybe it could have taken years, but now we've got it. And it's weird that from that article, it looks like this is supposed to be a serious type of comic as opposed to a farcical one that would be the origin of the premise from another writer. But that's just my 2 cents.
I saw this morning and I sent it to the guys in the FNT chat, and I'm like, it's like they're almost doing this on purpose now.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it just to get us to talk about it. And I keep saying that. I'm starting to stand by that at this point. Diego Flores says at another 5 Peruvian souls. Thank you so much. Whatever they are smoking, I hope there is in Denver because I need some inspiration.
I hope whatever they're smoking, I hope it's being sold in Denver.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean.
I get it.
He's coming to the States for a visit, man. That's pretty
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool beans.
Our buddy from Midnight's Edge.
That's right.
What's up, Diego?
What's up, Diego? And then Christy, you said you had a few things to say about this before I get to the next super chat.
This bitch. I mean, seriously. No.
Or whomever's behind this, I guess we should say.
Just take a look at the on the screen. It says by Marguerite. It's not Emilia Clarke.
I don't give a shit. Her name is attached to it. That's what I see.
Yeah, she's agreed to it. It's foolish.
She agreed to it. I don't like script. You're so awesome. You have all these different like behind this stuff. Not me. I don't give a shit. You're literally talking about a woman's period. That's it. There is much more than just the acne and the heavy flow itself and stuff. There's a reason why women say Aunt Flo has come to town this week. I mean, seriously. I'm not going to get.
Well, yeah, there's aches, there's pains. Every woman has something that's unique to them about it as well.
There's more. No. There's a lot more I could say, but I'm not going to. But like,
let it flow.
Oh, fuck it. Okay, you have like for one the period shits. Okay, that's a thing. I don't see that being mentioned and stuff like that. It like her power is her menstrual cycle. So what you're saying is basically she only has her powers from 5 to 7 days. Is that what it is?
1 week of the month she's heroic.
Exactly. So what about the
one time you wouldn't want her to have any responsibility like that? I'm just saying. She's probably gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
First guy that looks at her cockeyed.
Yeah, I mean, if this was like a comedy making fun of the context for which this would be done, you could probably have a lot of fun with this. But it's hard to tell at this point because, again, the only article addressing it is this, and what's being in print by the actor who I pretty sure a publicist or another writer wrote that for her on her behalf. Well, just doesn't make it sound like it's going to be a fun or an interesting take on a character.
But you see, like, the women in the chat are like, I don't want to say I speak for all of them, but it's like, it's gross when a woman has her period. It's not something that is to be celebrated. I get back pain. I get leg cramps. There were days where I couldn't move and I had to be on prescription drugs because of that shit. So no, you can.
It's funny, Christy.
No, it's not. It's not funny at all.
But it says it's a comedy.
PMS is not a fucking. Oh, Nina just said in the chat. PMS is not a superpower. I'm sorry. It's not. And for y'all I would be surprised if that bitch Anita Sarkeesian is behind this shit, or if I see her name or say something behind this. Also, I'm just saying. When I saw this, I was surprised her name wasn't attached in some way.
Speaking of Nina, I was gonna say I can't wait to hear what the ladies on Toxic Femme got to say about this next week. So we'll let it go from here because Polly's still in the corner going, no, I cannot hear this.
Sorry, Polly.
It's all
right.
No,
and I just want to be clear. It's not because I'm uncomfortable with the purpose the purpose of the female anatomy and it's an amazing, powerful thing that should be respected. Which
it's a superpower now.
It's superpower.
But there's also another superpower. I mean, with that, and that's to birth children, and
that's what I said earlier. Yeah.
How dare I know you did? I'm finally saying so. Can I finish?
I thought you weren't here when I said it. That's all.
I'm gonna go back to my corner.
No, finish.
Well, being a parent is a superpower, and that's why it's cool. I mean, yeah.
You were saying, Paula, you can make babies. That's a superpower.
I mean, it takes two to do it. So,
Polly,
I just think that it's incredibly degrading what they're doing.
Yes,
and it's belittling. What that true power is, and to trivialize it like that, to sell comics, to push
these won't
some
sell.
sort of agenda. I mean, I'm gonna go back to my corner.
Yeah.
These won't sell.
Smell those ribs.
It's called male PMS. BJ, Dina.
Sorry, Polly, but okay. So if that could be a superpower, then menopause could be a superpower, and you can call her the Flash because, like my mom, she would get hot flashes. I'm just saying.
Boom! Hell yeah! Boom!
Yeah, what happens? I mean, yeah, I guess so. This character would only be a superhero until the Flash happens, so to speak, or the phase. So again, it's a lot of short-lived aspects. Hey, we got a snort out of it. Okay,
but it's like you're also at the top of your game as far as a star and command any film, and this is what you come up with.
Exactly.
Again, I
This
think
is what you come up with? Jesus.
I just want to be. I wish I could have been in the room when she was pitched this, because it probably was an amazing pitch, but like probably glamorized by all the other stuff, and not actually seeing the forest for the trees in this, because it's just like you just don't get it. Because she's going to be part of a Marvel series on Disney Plus. I mean, that's going to be way more lucrative than this thing.
Probably.
Can't see the rug through the drapes.
I mean, it makes the Batwing story just like badass.
Pretty much.
Well, it was like the least of the night. It's like, yeah, okay, they're still trying. Good for them. Dash Dees comes in with another Canadian $5. Thank you so much. Says, if any of you would kindly gouge out my eyes with a spoon, my brain would appreciate never seeing this mess. I may be overreacting, but I doubt it. Problem is, you still know it exists.
Not only that, never let something that sucks do you physical body harm. Like, that's how they win.
They almost want you to do that. I think Script's right. Valiant Renegade, how you doing, buddy? Says $10 says her kryptonite is Midol.
Hey, pregnancy.
Fuck no, Midol doesn't even fucking work half the time.
Or the shot.
Or pregnancy, yeah. Just getting knocked up. That's
getting knocked up. Yeah, there you go.
How about back to that top 10 of remakes?
Yeah, let's.
Right?
In a bit. Willie Woodward says, "I think you're right, Script. So if so, why don't we do this stuff? We got plenty of writers. We got skills.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Probably we could do better than this. What she came up with here, your little idea was probably much more interesting, is what he said.
You can, but again, it costs money to do it. So
I don't want to make no movie about no woman. Period. And getting powers from it. Sorry.
I don't want to watch no fucking movie about
no.
I mean, we've already got something close to that with Thunder Force, and it doesn't work. So.
Jabba Gabba Nay is like, my eggs are shriveling just hearing this goodbye lineage. I hate to laugh at that, but oh my god. Yeah, this is, I swear they're just doing this just to get a rise out of us at this point.
They are. And
they've admitted to it so many times. Sorry, Chris.
And it's a digital comic. It's not going to be printed, so it's going to have a little less overhead, and it can easily vanish before any actual investment is made.
I predict it'll only last about 4 or 5 days, maybe 7.
I mean, how many? How many is this?
Polly, poor Polly. No, there we go. No, go back to the other comment. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Kill it now. Do it. Do it.
I'm actually more curious about what sort of supervillains she'll be facing if they're thematically similar.
I can tell you, they're all going to be men.
Yeah, you're right. Oh.
Hey, no, never mind. No, I'm not saying it. No, let's go to another topic, please, because there's really.
No, there's a level of curiosity to this, but it is not a good idea.
Yeah,
it's not. You'll lose.
Again, it's not anything I would invest my money or time in. That's for sure. Dash D says, we could hook up menopausal women to thermal generators to power the planet.
That's like a reverse Cherry 2000, wouldn't you think?
Well, that really is, because normally with any cycle, it's like 5 to 7 days. So you will always have women. I mean, I see where you're going with this, and I like it.
Just think of how much money you can make being a generator.
Yeah. Diego, well, maybe we're already in the Matrix. Diego Flores says, hentai already did it and far better. I wouldn't be surprised. It's got to be like one of those Rule 34 things or whatever it is. 32.
I didn't know what hentai was until last year.
Like movie 43, is that what you're talking about?
No. That Rule 32 or whatever it is, that everything that you can think of has already been made into porn.
Oh.
Boobs.
We got another story, and I use that term very loosely. Because this, to me, what does this smell like to you, Script?
You kidding? This is, I know a little bit about this. This is Paramount, Viacom, CBS building up their streaming service brand, and they're filling up with all their back catalog films, because since the pandemic started, Paramount has been the only studio buying up as many spec scripts as possible to put in production for their streaming service. And this is how they're starting to do that. They're going to dump a whole bunch of films out there to try and get viewers onto their service. I think they got the new model up now, so they have one with ads.
That's not quite what I was thinking. But Valiant, I was going to say this, but I was trying to move on. Mr. Garrison in the South Park movie. I'm sorry, Wendy, but I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
So I have his top 5 here. Remakes.
What, Polly?
Yeah.
We'll get there. But I again, that's not quite what I was getting at, script.
Okay, what were you? Yeah, let's see here.
This looks to me like a paid advertisement hidden as a fucking article is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Because why would you even write this as an article? Who gives a shit?
Here's the thing. Like Paramount Plus is this fall, they're going to be starting a huge ad campaign to get subscribers. So this, I guess, is just the first taste of it.
I don't care. I don't even see anywhere here where it says it's paid for, which really.
Scroll up a little bit, because there's a $5 one and I think a $10 one.
Oh, for the price of things, that's for the plan. Yeah, because they're doing the commercial thing now.
Yep.
Or whatever.
They're trying to adapt a little bit of the NBC Peacock model over on their side because I think other streaming services are going to do that soon because it's doing really well for them right now.
I just see this, and it just. I think they're desperate.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
They're very desperate.
It's like an internet infomercial almost. It is. It's much like a lot of the other ones. It just.
It doesn't even.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Christy.
I was going to say, does it actually list some of the things that will be coming this week, or is it just? It does.
Well, it highlights mainly things like the Paw Patrol movie.
Some of their classics, like the Avengers with Sean Connery and Uma Thurman.
On August 20th, they'll start showing A Quiet Place 2. Infinite is a brand new movie with Mark Wahlberg and Chiwetel Ejiofor and directed by Anton Fuqua. They got things like Terminator Dark Fate coming, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Red Dawn, Skyfall, The Avengers, Gemini Man, and The Rhythm Section. Comedies like A Boss, The Hustle, Valley Girl, What Men Want, Fighting with My Family, The Little Hours, The Dictator, I Love You Man, Jackass Presents, Bad Grandpa, Tropic Thunder, No Strings Attached, Hello, My Name is Doris, School of Rock, Rocket Man, Judy, Florence Foster Jenkins, The Wolf of Wall Street, Revolutionary Road, 71, The Soulist, Birdcage. Okay, now, Birdcage, Full Monty, Little Women. This is part of the MGM deal. Yeah, it says right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting title. They're getting, because they'd made a deal with MGM before MGM went into this whole thing with Amazon, because they were initially supposed to get No Time to Die, but I don't think that's going to happen now.
I don't think so either, no.
Yeah, they're also getting Dora movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, the Addams Family one. That'd be probably the more recent. That could either be the MGM one or the original Paramount movies. It's either or in this case. The Adventures of Tintin, Charlotte's Web, Body Cam, Saint Maud, Crawl, Child's Play. I'm assuming that's probably the newer one. Gretel and Hansel, Pet Cemetery, probably the newer one. Prodigy, The Haunting, Paranormal Activity 3 and 4, and Arachnophobia. Where in the world did they get their hands on that?
I think Arachnophobia was MGM, wasn't it, back in the day?
No, that's a Disney movie.
Was it Disney in the sense of like Buena Vista distributed?
Yeah, well, it was Touchstone.
Okay. Oh, right, yeah.
And it was directed by Frankie.
They have sold that off when they disbanded Touchstone?
I don't think so, because Disney has Splash and Roger Rabbit on there.
That's right.
On Disney Plus, so weird. Viacom CBS also touted Paramount Plus's lineup of new returning original series, including iCarly, Evil, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, The Good Fight, Behind the Music, and Star Trek Lower Decks. Oh man, I don't care.
I got this top 10 list of remakes.
Let's talk about that. We got a little bit of time left. Let's talk about that instead. Yeah, because this is nobody cares. yada yada yada. Nobody cares. Well, right. Let me get these super chats real quick first, and then we'll
For
get to
sure.
that. We've got Stephen Otten who said first scripts Cherry 2000 reference. Oh, that's what he was talking about.
Oh
He
yeah,
said it was like okay.
a reverse Cherry 2000.
Gotcha.
That's for
Diego,
Christie's idea. And
Yeah.
your idea of the.
Diego Flores says, literally, I saw the Paramount Plus catalog. My generation is the only group who would get Paramount Plus. I showed it to my sister. I am getting free Paramount Plus and proved my point. There you go.
Likes those titles, yeah.
I know there was some stuff on there that was all right, but I'm just like, I'm not paying for it for this, just for this. But we have to let Christy go. Thank you for joining us for a little bit,
Oh
Christy.
my
It was
God,
fun to
Tom!
have
I
you
was
talk.
just gonna fucking leave. without
No, we can't do that. Check out According to Christy's channel.
where I haven't made a video or done a live stream in like
cares?
3 weeks.
It doesn't matter.
Dude.
Subscribe to her on Twitter.
We're just so happy to have you here, man.
We're just happy to have you.
It's been rad. I mean, we need to do like a top 10.
Yes,
We do. I really should start those again, but it's just like I don't really want to. But no, this is fun. My sis and her family are in town, so I'm gonna have dinner and see my nieces and stuff like that. But this is awesome to have me on, guys. Thank you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Happy
Thanks for
Tuesday to
being here.
everybody, and have a wonderful day.
take
You
care.
too, Christy.
Bye, guys.
Have fun, Christy. Bye.
Thanks.
Night.
Bye.
All right, Rubber Band Man says, Tom, how is Batwoman getting season 2? You mean season 3?
Yeah.
And then John Penn pointed out, I guess it was Hollywood that released it, and it was under Amblin. Maybe there's some deal with Amblin. That could be. That could very well be. Those things over time can change. That's very true. All right. And with that, you said you had the top 5 list there already?
No, I'm just no. I mean,
Was there another story you did want to talk about, though?
Like the
Anything else?
was that the LA Times thing you mentioned?
Oh yeah. I mean, how much time do we have?
I don't care.
Let me see.
I got no place to be. I got no place else to go.
Yeah, I mean, I sent it to you. Do you guys want to pull it
Which
up?
one was that? The let's see here.
It's the Warner Brothers HBO
the
Max
Warner Media
Brothers.
thing.
Yeah.
This is. I'm surprised we haven't brought this up on the main channel yet. This news dropped, I think, on my birthday, so this isn't like brand new news, is it?
Oh,
Well, the news is about the story, but this is a new story here.
This is June 8th.
This is brand new. Okay.
And
this is okay. I got you.
and, the way I found out was that a couple of reviewers were putting it up because they're saying like, Blue Beetle's going to go automatically to streaming. It sucks. So I thought I'd share this with you guys.
All right. Well, let's check into this one. Yeah, this
Is that with the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle instead of the Ted Kord?
Correct.
Okay, that's
okay. Yeah, this is something I remembered. Okay, so actually, this is beyond what we were talking about. This is kind of what I brought up before when I talked to an individual inside where they had told me they're not going to do the whole theatrical thing day and date anymore. They're going to do theatrical first and not on HBO Max. Theaters or HBO Max. Warner Brothers movie plans take shape as Discovery merger looms. On December 3rd, Warner Brothers, the 98-year-old studio known for such gems as Casablanca and The Dark Knight, stunned Hollywood by announcing its entire 2021 film lineup would be available on HBO Max and in theaters on the same day in the U.S., where theaters were hobbled by the coronavirus. Many people in the industry, as well as Warner Brothers insiders, worried that a studio that had made talent relationships its signature for decades had lost its way. Yeah, this is all stuff that we brought up as the probable reason for this. So this actually confirms what we were talking about, basically. After the 3 years of the upheaval under owner AT&T and Warner Brothers is confronting another industry-changing shakeup, just weeks ago, the studio learned it would be merged with Discovery, home of Home and Garden TV, Food Network, and Animal Planet. But as the $43 billion Discovery merger ambles toward regulatory approval next year, Warner Brothers' risky release strategy, internally dubbed Project Popcorn, we got a little bit
name
of
for it. Yeah.
appears to be working. Oh, really? Movies such as Godzilla vs. Kong and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It have done better than expected at the box office and brought millions of subscribers to HBO Max, according to executives. Maybe this is why they weren't so quick to get rid of Kalar just yet, too, because there's like a lot of moving parts to this. I'm both happy and relieved because it has ultimately played out almost exactly as we hoped it would, said Carolyn Blackwood, chief of officer at Warner Brothers Pictures. Of course, they're not going to say it did a horrible job, but anyway, we've got filmmakers and talent who are now happy. We've got exhibitors that are happy. We've got audiences that are happy, and our partners at HBO Max are thrilled. Despite skepticism, Warner Brothers leaders had long insisted that same-day releases were pandemic special in 2021's only solution to the problem of COVID-19 shutting down cinemas. Although the future of Warner Brothers under Discovery remains unclear, the studio's strategy for next year and beyond is becoming into focus. After this year, the Burbank studio will go with a half-and-half approach to its schedule. Okay, so this is a new version. It's an updated version of what we heard before. Executives said of the roughly 20 movies Warner Brothers makes annually in the coming years, 10 to 12 will be designed specifically for HBO Max, and the other 10 to 12 will launch in theaters exclusively for the last 45 days before they're available for home viewing. You know what? Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about this, but I'm going to save this for tomorrow because I think this is something Andre's really going to want to get into.
Yeah, but it's showing basically they've got the numbers of the first quarter, and they see a really good plan strategy for later on. So yeah.
Right, which, some of the reviewers were, like boo-hooing, like, oh, Blue Beetle's going to go straight to streaming. It's like that's not necessarily a bad thing now.
Well, what I see here is they've probably got one of the better plans going forward. They're going to play this thing strategically. They know if they've got something like a Godzilla versus Kong, that's not going to go day and date anymore. But something like a Blue Beetle, where it's not as necessarily a sure thing, they will probably go day and date.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. And then that opens you up to taking a few more risks still without overspending yourself. Do you get what I'm saying, Script, on that respect?
No, I actually see a really smart strategy as a result of this. Basically, because again, whenever they put stuff into development, once it gets into post-production, they start doing the screenings. If it wows the executives, they have these two options now. They can be like, okay, this is good enough to throw in theaters without too much of an issue of booking, because again, the Warner Brothers are going to be reserving slots with theaters for their 10 to 12 films, and they're not necessarily going to be guaranteed names of those movies at that time because they do this out in advance. So what they're really basically saying is like, we got now a 50-50 split where no matter what we do, we're probably going to make some decent cash. So you can actually have a little bit more riskier properties or things that they like but don't think will have the best reach that they can throw on HBO Max. But if the performance or the execution of that project is really, really good, then they can say, no, this is going to go to theaters and we're going to throw a marketing team behind it to really ramp it up. And I like that strategy in theory. So I hope it plays out.
Paulie, I mean, you brought it to us, so what's your take on this whole thing, real quick?
No. Like, I wanted to, is this, like, again, I think there's just an old school thinking that if it's not in the theaters, it's not legit. But we're living in a new age, so I just thought that, and
there is that stigma because we have brought that up before.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. The difference here, though, is that I think what they're saying with this, and kind of going off of what Script and I were saying before, could be, is that what did work so well about it, they're going to continue, and then it allows them to take movies like Blue Beetle that, they don't necessarily have the most confidence in necessarily, let's say. That way they know they're not going to lose their ass on it because it'll be a loss leader for HBO Max, if anything.
Yeah, so that's where on Twitter in my circle with Latino producers and reviewers were just like, man, this sucks. Like they're not going to release it in the theater. And it's like, well, just like what you said. I mean, it's getting produced, it's getting done, but and
it's already got a home that's going to hit millions and millions.
Well,
of people.
That's not totally true either. It'll probably be day and date because that's what I'm getting from this. Unless I'm wrong, is that half their films are still going to go to theaters and theaters only first.
For the
They're not gonna
45
get
day
a
window, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have that. They're not going to be day and date, but the rest are going to be day and date, meaning you'll still be able to go see Blue Beetle, let's say, in the theaters at the same time it drops on HBO Max, but it'll just be both. So I think they're going to just be this kind of goes along with what I think Script and I are getting at, is they're just going to be more picky and choosy about which movies they release day and date going forward, because they really lost their ass on Godzilla versus Kong. And Mortal Kombat probably hit them pretty hard too, because they probably could have done at least 200-300 million on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Entirely possible, yeah. I mean, it was still kind of up in the air because, again, during their release window, I mean, there's still a whole lot of stigma on the pandemic, especially on the world stage. But I would say, like, if this didn't have the case and they still went with this way, then yeah, they probably lost maybe 200 to 400 million
at least, yeah.
Like just on that mood alone. But with the pandemic, I think the loss was not as big as we're worried it would be.
Exactly, and I think that's where this strategy is coming into play, because they know now kind of where the everybody was worried. Are people going to go see movies? Well, Godzilla vs. Kong proved that people will go out. The last few weeks, people have been able to go out and do stuff. The box office is almost back to normal. I wouldn't say it's like, what would you say?
It's in the sweet spot that it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's not like great yet, but it's. I mean, we had 3 movies in the top 5 that I think made altogether 50 million at the box office, I think, or more than that.
Yeah, a little
more than that, because the top 3 I think made close to 50 million is what I was trying to say. But yeah, so I mean, we're getting back up there again. It's not nearly as bad as I think some people were predicting it was going to be. Dash D says Private Ryan was a theater must. Are they making movies now that are TV based as the norm now, and only a handful of true theater films? Well, that's another great question. That kind of goes along with what Script and I were kind of saying, is they can be a little bit more.
Well, you're talking about cinematography, and that's a lot of directors, doesn't even matter if it's going to be straight on.
I was going to say most of the time they shoot them the same way. Yeah,
it's easier to shoot the same way because, again, like, you never know. Again, a studio can change their mind and be like, yeah, we're going to put this into theaters. I mean, Netflix has been trying to get some of their stuff in the theaters as well, even though they do prefer their own platform. But that was usually during the time when, if Netflix wanted to get nominations, they had to essentially do a type of 4-wall deal with theaters for their originals. But
it could also depend on regioning. Yeah, regionally changes too, because there's a lot more so in the past, not so much in recent years, but you'd have a situation where something that would be like a TV movie here, straight to video, would be a theatrical release overseas, or vice versa.
Yep. There's other markets than just the North American market right now. So a lot of the streaming platforms don't all have the reach out there yet.
There's that too, yeah.
So if they're going to be making something, it's better to have that consistent model of we're just going to assume that this is going to be in theaters, and if it goes on to HBO Max, at least it's still going to have an audience outreach of 80 million at this point.
Yeah. And we'll get into
it goes into theaters, they can distribute it to theaters and people can see it in theaters. So there's no conflict of visual representation, so to speak, of how that movie is shot.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we'll get into this tomorrow, and this will be one of the bigger stories we talk about. But Paulie, at least from my perspective, in my opinion, anybody who's saying that shit about Blue Beetle don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That has nothing to do with that. That is not an indication.
I think Warner's going to look at Blue Beetle like it's their Iron Man, and I hope they give it some better life than that simplistic approach, because I'm a fan of that character and his. With Blue Beetle, like Ted Kord and Booster Gold back in the day, and then the new Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, and his discovering of that and trying to become a hero on his own without that mentorship. Those are fun stories, and I really hope we get something really, really magical out of that for those characters.
And from what and then when talking with Clobber Time, as far as Blue Beetle, the modern version is that him being a geek over the other superheroes.
Yeah, he's a fan of them.
He's a fan of them. And me and Tom talked about this a few months ago. It's like we would love if they can get Sholo, the guy from Cobra Kai, as Jaime. I mean, that kid would just be amazing.
He would be amazing. And the other part too is the Blue Beetle scarab that he has talks in his own voice, but just with a completely different perspective, so to speak, or personality. So it gives that single actor who can physically play the geek role, and then he goes into a sound booth and does all the lines of the Blue Beetle scarab speaking into his ear, so to speak, of this other guy that's a bit more absolute and a bit more confident, and you have that stretch for him. So that's that would be fun to see. And if they had like some sort of time travel thing where you got to meet the original Blue Beetle who didn't have the Scarab power, and you have that like kind of ghost father-son, surrogate father-son relationship and new adventures and stuff. Like there's a lot going on with that character that would be really good for the brand, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, what unfortunately, there some of these reviewers are going to take it as a slight because of it's a Latino thing now or whatever, and maybe going to run with that, and they really don't understand what you guys just explained. And that's what bothers me. It's like don't start screaming fire when you don't need to.
Yeah.
Darius Munchausen sent us a popcorn super sticker. I think that's pretty relevant. Willie also had a comment here I wanted to address. Where'd it go? And I gave Willie a wrench too.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I
just put in our last Midnight's Edge Espanol show as well.
Yeah, and you got a Zoot Suit special coming up here in a few minutes, so we'll try and end the show before that starts.
Oh, no, that's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow? Okay, well, all right.
Yeah, I'm just promoting her.
Gotcha. We got that one already. We got that one, and then okay. Willie says, Tom, Warner Brothers would have lost more money if they pushed back Godzilla vs. Kong more Mortal Kombat. There was enough of a backlash to the story that if it was only in theaters, I doubt it would have made much more money. I'm going to disagree with you on that one, Willie. As far as pushing Godzilla vs. Kong, I don't think it would have. I think it would have been better if they waited till like now. If they would have released that now, it'd have been massive. Mortal Kombat, I don't think it would have made a difference because the overall general audience didn't give a shit about that. It
was like a 60-40 split with regards to positivity, so I was still pretty good.
And it had a pretty good female rating. So again, I think that's more in the nerd gaming community where there was probably griping about the story. Other than that, I don't remember too many people having a problem. But no, I don't think that would have. It could have. The last one, you may be right. But I don't know if it would have affected it as much as we think it would in the nerd sphere. But you could have been right. We'll never know, unfortunately. So Dash Dees, though, comes in with, is it related maybe to just the content and making movies? If I get what you're asking here, Dash, yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's I don't think they're going to change their overall scheme or idea of how they do things. They're just going to be more... because originally I was told, and this is what they were reporting, so it was legit when I was told it, that they were not going to do this day and date shit anymore. Like, because that was what brought this whole Discovery thing on. Okay? They are candy coating the shit out of this in this article here. And again, like we're going to get into this tomorrow because I know Andre will want to rip this apart like you wouldn't believe.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this to me, because I didn't even see this one, Paulie. So I thought it was just talking about the name change. That's why I didn't even look at it.
No, this came from a tweet from a Latino reviewer that I know, and I just didn't like what she quoted. And then I read the story. I'm like, come on, you're not understanding shit. Not everything's a fucking civil rights case here, guys.
Yeah,
it's actually better. It's actually, like you guys were saying, this is actually a for sure great thing for the Blue Beetle movie.
Yeah, and I got to disagree with this too, Willie, because they had Godzilla vs. Kong stuff on the fucking shelf for a year before the movie came out, and it's still on the shelf. Again, if you haven't seen our video on it, that's the whole reason I think Godzilla vs. Kong did as well as it did, is they switched the tone and gears. They realized early on, we're going at this in the wrong direction. And Kong was kind of a step in the right direction with making it a bit more kid-friendly. And then you've seen Godzilla King of Monsters is major kid-friendly. And then Godzilla vs. Kong is even more kid-friendly.
And the prices are still high on that physical media stuff for them, too.
Yeah,
so
and that's what I was saying before, too, is though the Godzilla King of Monsters didn't do shit in theaters, but it has been killing it on video. And I even went back and looked for the numbers. So check out that video if you haven't. You could be right, but again, I think, I don't know about that one. Mortal Kombat, you might be more right about. That's a little bit more one that can be discussed, because the word of mouth online can affect a movie like that. So that is true to a point. But again, an argument could be made that Mortal Kombat might not have done as well in the theater, period. I don't know. Maybe it did better because it was on HBO Max. And that's kind of what I think they're saying with this article is they're going to be picky and choosy. Something like Mortal Kombat, where it was only a $50 million movie, that would make more sense for them to drop it on both HBO Max and theaters because it ain't going to take as much for them to get their money back. But now if they go and spend $150 million on Blue Beetle, they'll release that in theaters first and not on streaming first at the same time.
Pretty much. And then you know what? Blue Beetle is a character. They don't need to go that expensive for it. But, I mean...
Well, you kind of have like this baseline with these comic book movies, and I think Deadpool proved that.
I know, but like for the Jaime Reyes story, it's a kid coming of age thing. Like that should be done for cheap. They should literally give him a spandex costume and have like all the weird morphing stuff be CGI because that's a lot cheaper to do and also allows him to still retain his like his teenager like form. I mean, I'm just looking at it like a budgetary thing. Like, how can you maximize the most out of this character and make it worth not just like either a day and date or also a theatrical release that just blows people away.
It's also a young director as well, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, going on simpler for them so that they can really hit out their skill set, and then that's how you kind of escalate with like follow-up stories of sequels or like a series.
Well, and going off of what you were just saying, Script, do you think this could be Warner Brothers Venom asks White Knight here? I think that's a good question.
Do you think I can definitely see the parallels to it if they have a better tone than Venom, because I'm not a fan of the tone of Venom.
No, but I think he means like box office wise, and like you said, somewhat similarities, and
maybe. There's always that potential. I have to refresh myself with the team. That's
the only thing is Venom is a much more well known character. Like that's the only thing.
Yeah,
Blue Beetle's not nearly as well known.
Yeah, Blue Beetle is kind of like your C-list. Like even when he was Ted Kord, it was like your C-list hero, but still cool because he's from the Charlton comics back in the day before DC appropriated them and whatnot. But yeah, he's basically like a parallel to Iron Man. Iron Man was kind of considered a C-list hero for Marvel way back when, but if you have a good cast, a good team and crew, and solid production, it could, elevate him up to an A level or at least a high B. And that's great for the character because that means that the studio is going to keep investing in them for more projects.
Yeah, but like the limit, like you can do on a lot of these films, unless you really find a way to get around it, is usually right around 100 million. Like you can't really do it for much cheaper than that. And like I said, that's where Deadpool came in because they reported whatever it was, like a $60 to $80 million budget, but then they had all their effects people suing them behind the scenes because they were paid.
And they had to pay them out, so that.
So right there kind of puts it to where it's you're going to spend $100 million on one of these movies. It's just it
just depends on what it is they're going to do in the film, right? If they keep him in like his town, I think he's like from Texas,
El Paso.
Yeah. So if they keep him there and they keep it like a small story, they can do a lot with little. But
you could.
If they do like an alien invasion thing, then yeah, that's going to be pretty expensive.
But I look like Deadpool had like some of the minimalist CGI there was and all that kind of stuff. The first one, so.
Well, I mean, Colossus cost a lot of money to do.
He did, but I mean, and again, you're right. You could possibly get away with doing a Blue Beetle movie for $60 to $80 million, legitly.
Yeah.
So
it just
that's
depends on what angle they're going to do.
Considering they did, actually, that you bring that up, now that they did Mortal Kombat, if they really did that for $50 million and they're not lying, you could do Blue Beetle for that. Easy.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think they did that for 75.
I think it cost them a little bit more than they were saying.
I mean, really, it's going to be star power on that one.
Well, speaking of, because Mortal Kombat, I think that's where they saved all their money was the cast.
Ugh.
I know, and it shows, doesn't it?
So don't piss me off right now.
I know I have my gripes as much as I enjoyed it.
I just decided I'm not doing a Latino rant.
We will get into.
I am not doing a Latino rant tonight.
Just like Siskel and Ebert.
I'm not doing a Latino rant tonight. I slanted down. I'm chill.
You got some ribs, yeah.
All right, I want to try some of those ribs, motherfucker. Those look
yeah. Well.
Actually, Com says, "Oh, go ahead."
No, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Don't bring him down. I know. I'm trying not to. I'm changing the subject. Is there a future for cultural event movies where the whole country feels like you have to go see it? Yeah, we're gonna get one. What it is, I don't know. Nobody can.
It's not going to be deliberate. I'll tell you that. It's going to be accidental.
It's very well. It could be Dune for all we know. I don't know because there's a lot of people who seem to be dismissing that, but I was too at first until I saw the numbers on the trailers and the amount of people who talk about it still, and it's. You never know. could be anything. It kind of be like the one thing where I said, like when people were like, "Oh, people are never going to go back to theaters." Well, that was proven not true. And I said, even if that is the case, there's going to be a movie that comes out that everybody's going to have to see.
I mean,
and it just generally happens every few years. Sorry, go ahead, Paulie.
I mean, they'll force it a cultural event with Wakanda.
You have that possibility.
Yeah,
we're due. Like Joker was one of those, in a way. They pop up from time to time.
Yeah, but like with Black Panther, I don't think people really expected that to.
That's another one that kind of was. I guess.
Oh, that was huge, bro.
That was huge. Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
I
would lean more towards Infinity War, but yeah, I get what you're saying, or Endgame, but yeah.
I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah, I think all three kind of counted, so to speak, that you mentioned there. Yeah.
They were just phenomenons. Yeah.
And is Marvel ever going to reach that peak again? Probably not. And I don't think the next cultural phenomenon is going to be Marvel related. I don't even think it's going to probably be superhero related.
Oh, someone mentioned Lord of the Rings. Oh God, that was 20 years ago. That was the event. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was the conversation for 3 years straight.
But I remember the Heroes Walk trailer, almost a year before the first one was released. Remember that preview trailer in the theaters? It was just the Heroes Walk and the theme song. It was amazing. Oh my God.
I remember people just coming in for that trailer and then leaving.
Yeah, and Dash.
Some theaters put that trailer in front of other movies they weren't supposed to in my area. I remember that. Like start time's about 7 minutes later than it should be. Why is that?
And that's another argument to have, Tom. Greatest trilogies.
Yeah, because I don't know if my answers would be the same as everybody else's.
They'll be wrong. That's why.
It's totally like a Freddy.
No, well, Back to the Future is probably one of the harder ones to argue.
Back to the Future. There's a Star Trek one, like from the
technically yes.
Dash D's for $2. Sorry, Paulie. Kano was funny as F. Kano was
good,
bright, shining light in Haruki, who played.
It was half a good cast.
Forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong, but he played a Scorpion.
Yep.
But the lead actor that they created this role for was a wet rag on arrival, and
did not live up to what was given to him.
I would have almost rather them have it be like a woman character and have them cast somebody like Gina Carano. It would have been better.
Well, yeah, who they got for Sonya Blade was not bad, but what they did with the character just felt weird. And Haruki, we just were mentioning on your channel not long ago, we were talking about the first movie he did, Into the Dragon's Den, this old film. You got to go check that out. That's
incredible. We should do a Haruki
watch
film retrospective.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as we're just finishing up, though, we got a buddy of ours popping in to say hello.
Oh,
how you doing, Jesse?
Yeah, I fell asleep afterwards.
That's all right. No worries, man. We always got Thursday as well. We were actually gonna be wrapping up here soon. But Dash D says best trilogy was the Debbie series.
The Debbie series.
I love Jesse, man.
Hey, well, eventually.
Yeah. Thanks for being there this morning, man, on the Espanol, Midnight's Edge Espanol. You were adding some great
it was a nice show.
Bro. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting with the people you find, man. I was hoping that he knew Danny Trejo.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I mean, we got to bring him back. Yeah, we had a producer on Midnight's Edge Espanol. I put the link in, but it was a fantastic talk, and could have just kept going. He had to take off.
Oh yeah, well, he's probably a pretty busy guy.
Yeah,
he was actually on a lot of things that I remember from back in the day, though.
Well, real fast, I forgot the producer's Jason Martinez. I forgot that he was so close to the Jackass guys. I mean, he lived and breathed and produced that show with them. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, because that show was a big deal when it came on.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, man. So thanks for being there.
Oh, yeah.
Other than work and sleep, what you been up to, Jesse?
Oh God. I'm trying to fix up. Well, I'm trying to put together a plan to fix up my old house so I could rent it out for a while. I decided to sell it. Yeah, on that, a million things, man. Like just everything.
We're finishing up. Okay, quick one.
Oh, he's just telling Romy.
Oh shoot, I thought I was muted.
No, it's all good, man. That's what I was saying because you just texted me like, yeah, we're kind of finishing up here, but you can hop in if you want. Lord of the Rings is another one that's hard to argue with as far as trilogies. That's true, Nikki D. Very true. That's probably a good topic for a later show, though, for sure.
That's more like a midnight.
Yeah, I always prefer the second movie of a trilogy because I don't like.
I'm kind of with you on that one, yeah.
Because you have your whole story, right? But like the second movie is where you could sit in your universe a little bit and explore a little bit more because there's that little extra time,
It always tends to have the best moments character-wise and story-wise. A lot of times, especially Lord of the Rings, like Two Towers is probably my favorite. Of course, Back to the Future, the original's the best.
Yeah.
But Part 2 explores some really interesting, cool, fun things.
See, a lot of people don't like Westerns, though. They'll fight you on that.
I know, for some reason, people just are resistant to that third Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know.
It's
I
almost,
like it.
It's like a perfect,
No,
almost
I'm with
as perfect
you. I'm
as the
just
first
saying,
They
film.
just don't like that it's in the Old West.
I don't care. It's
But
great.
it's fun.
They think it's
so much
cheesy.
fun in the Old West.
And then you got, Godfather. Of course, Godfather 2 is a great film.
Come on.
But I'm one of those few people. Well, shush.
Why am I? Don't try to
Godfather
keep
3
me down,
got
man.
nominated for an Oscar.
I've already had enough of
Godfather 3 was all about
oppression
incest.
today from jackasses being jerky. Hashtag Brown Lives Matter.
Brown Lives Matter. You know what else matters? Those ribs. No, you're right. But Godfather 3 is a piece of shit.
I mean, that's all I was gonna say. You're like, shush,
I didn't have to fuck with you.
Shut your ass, Paulie.
I
was just gonna say, it was a horrible film.
No, Max, I don't want to die on this. I was just fucking with Paulie.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
I just had to
Max.
fuck with Paulie because I know I can.
Jeez.
God, Iron Man trilogy is not horrible. I actually like Iron Man 3.
I mean, the Captain Americas, if we're going to go there, the Captain America.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you're
was-
right.
Is the best one of those for me.
You're right. No, you're 100% right because I love Civil War. I love who doesn't love Winter Soldier, but I always say the first Captain America is one that's always overlooked. So
It is. It is such a strong film.
Yeah, it's the best of all of them. That's where you get the line, I could do this all day. That's where he jumps on the grenade.
The love,
making
the
me
romance, cry. The romance. I mean, it ends. Shame game at the end of Endgame, where they're dancing, to their song.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
It also has
it
some
feels like a good ending for the character, but at the same time, you're like, he's not going to be with them anymore. But he's got that, that happy ending. Sometimes a hero just needs a happy ending.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Then you also have, like Tommy Lee Jones has all like some of his best lines of all time in that movie. He's making me cry. You put that needle through it.
I totally forgot that he was the drill sergeant.
Yeah, it's like you put that needle in his arm, it's going to go straight through.
Yeah, we can do
Tommy Lee Jones wasn't even acting that day. He's just like, what do I got to say?
Right. What do I got to say?
Like, got to show up.
He's like that in real life, I've heard. He's pretty gruff.
Yeah.
He ain't got no time for your buffoonery. I mean, he is like 800 years old, so.
I think
who would win in a fight?
80s.
Who would win in a fight? Danny Trejo or Tommy Lee Jones?
Trejo would take him down.
Probably
But it'd be a
Trejo's
good
a boxer,
fight.
bro.
Tommy Lee Jones has looked that old since his one of his earlier appearances in the Charlie's Angel pilot. He's looked like he's been in his 80s since the 70s.
Tommy Lee's a tough motherfucker, though, man.
Yeah,
he is.
He is.
And like Trejo's actually been to jail, so
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
real
God.
shit. Danny Trejo would win, but it's like
Trejo was
Tommy
the
Lee
smart one.
Jones
He's like,
still did great in the
he
knife
still looks
fight
pretty
Under
spry
Siege.
for his age too.
he
Yeah.
does. But Trejo's the smart one. He's like, wait, I don't have to actually be an asshole and criminal. I can just do that on film and not have to worry about jail. Like, oh, that's way better.
And he might be able to intimidate Tommy a little bit.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think Tommy Lee just doesn't give a shit.
It'd be
He
a good
doesn't care.
fight.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
Tommy
anyone's
Lee would be a
It'd be a good
resourceful
fight.
fighter.
Be
Yeah.
better than his fight with Steven Seagal.
Hi, Jesse. Hi. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, Dash Deese makes a good point. The
Dollars
trilogy.
trilogy, hell yeah.
I like those movies a lot.
The Dollars trilogy?
Yeah, Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, yeah.
For $3 more, and
Mhm.
Good, the Bad, the Ugly, right?
That's good.
Good, the Bad, the Ugly I've seen so many times, even though it's like 3.5 hours long.
3.5 hours, yeah. It's an epic.
Yep, I won't spoil the ending.
Clint wins.
Yeah. It's usually the way.
And isn't that the what's his face who plays? There's Cleavon. Is it Cleavon?
Mario Van Cleef.
Mario Van Cleef, and then
No.
What's I don't know the Mexican guy.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef. And
Lee
then
Van Cleef.
who's the other guy?
I don't know his name.
Plays the Mexican.
Charles Bronson?
No,
I don't know him from anything else, or that I know him like that character.
he always
like,
plays bad guys and shit, and I can't think of his name. He's even in Godfather 3. We were just talking.
Oh, Eli Wallach.
He was in Godfather
Eli
3.
Wallach.
Eli
Yes,
Wallach
yes.
played a Mexican, yes.
Yes, he was the guy in the Godfather 3 who they poisoned with the cannoli.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's bits of Godfather 3 that I fucking love. I will admit that. If you take out the incest shit, and it's great.
Look, I only watched that movie once, and I was a teenager, and I was like, what is this? Like, I just watched Godfather 2.
Paulie, did you watch the recut version of it? No, you didn't. Okay. I will say
Did they
this
cut
about
out a
that.
lot?
Yeah, they did actually. It's recut completely.
Did they cut Sophia Coppola out?
No,
Then shut the
unfortunately,
fuck up.
she's still in it, but it is a little bit better because it's more like it's not like it's meant to be like this straight up sequel and all this. It's kind of its own thing in a way now, and it's really like it's structured like The Godfather now instead of the way it was, and it makes more sense, a lot more sense. I will say that. But
The
anyhow,
director's cut?
it's called Godfather 3 Coda or something like that. What's it called? Script? No?
I can't
Sounds
remember.
horrible.
Something like that.
Sounds fucking horrible. Ponderous, man. It's
Fucking ponderous.
I only rewatched the first two Godfathers.
See,
I
the
don't
thing
blame
is,
you.
the problem with that is that you're asking me to watch something that's so ingrained in my mind as being bad. It's like I cannot.
Yeah,
unsee.
precisely.
You know?
Exactly.
I can't discount that, but like
So
the
eventually
Vatican,
we'll have to forget it for 5 years, and then
Whoa.
I'll see the director's cut.
like the Vatican stuff is like really like one of the reasons to get into it. Like it's much better. Yeah. 3 Flavors of Cornetto trilogy. Right and Peg says Fusion Nev Zero. If I'm saying that right.
Hot Fuzz,
Yeah,
Shaun of
definitely.
the Dead, and This is the End.
This
I
is
think
the
it
end.
is.
Yep.
I mean, he's kind of not wrong, or she.
Kinda
Fusion.
wrong.
Sorry,
Yeah.
those are great films.
And I think Edgar Wright is doing 2 more Baby Driver-like films that he has plans for, at least. That's the last I heard.
What do Eli Wallach, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and director Otto Preminger have in common?
Mm.
They're all No, they're not all Austrian. They're not all Jewish. I don't know, buddy.
Let us know in the chat. White Knight. I didn't mention those because of Ninja Turtles 3, of course.
Yeah,
They bring back Casey Jones and make him a babysitter. What the heck?
Yeah. What the
fake name. Yes, Sophia Coppola. Barf.
I know.
That's all I gotta say to your argument. That's all I gotta say. Barf.
You're saying that, and then one of these days you're going to meet her, and she's like, "By the way, I heard you on Midnight's Edge After Dark."
That's all right. She knows she can't act. She knows she can't act, and she even says
Her
I was
father
forced
has
into
you
doing
killed.
that fucking
No,
role
I'm
by her
just-
daddy.
Well, I know it's supposed to be Winona Ryder, and it should have been, but it doesn't matter. It still doesn't take away the fact that it's a stupid story idea.
Well, I mean,
in a major motion picture, just if you're gonna have a love interest, can you keep it outside the family?
Exactly. I mean, you had a possibility of doing something cool there, but it doesn't matter. What's great in the movie is all the other stuff, and that's what's amped up.
What was the possibility of something cool with the whole, with my cousin's storyline?
No, there's nothing.
that didn't bother for some bizarre reason that didn't bother me. But Andy Garcia was badass.
Yeah, Andy's great in it.
Yeah,
That's another
he was
reason I
good.
like it. And I love what's his face. Damn it, he does the voice on The Simpsons too.
Dan Castanella?
No. The mafia guy.
I don't know. I don't remember who was
the
in
guy
it.
does
It's a long
Tony.
time ago.
Crap.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony DiMaggio.
Can't think of his
Is that
name.
it?
Chaz Palminteri. Is that it?
No, Chaz Palminteri is a whole other guy. He's Bronx Tale.
No, that's what I'm thinking of.
He doesn't do Fat Tony though.
Oh, he's not Fat Tony. Who's Fat Tony then?
Joe Montenegro.
Joe
Yeah,
Montenegro.
that guy.
Montagna.
He's good in that.
Montegna, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was on one of the crime shows too, and it was always funny
When
to
he
watch
tries
him
to
in
have
real
everybody
life.
killed.
How dare you, Joey Zaza?
Joey Zaza. Yeah.
That was a good death.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
that
like that guy,
doesn't make a
actually.
film, bro.
Disrespected me? Oh, there is a movie. That's what I'm saying. You just the daughter bits is the only problem. The only reason you need that is
there's
for
a
the
lot
end.
of problems with it.
No, there isn't actually. That's the only problem.
God, shut up, dude. Shut up.
What's wrong with it?
STFO.
What?
Joey Zaza.
Joey Zaza's awesome. What the fuck? You said yourself, Andy Garcia's cool in it. You got one of the best lines that everybody always quotes. Every time I give out, they pull me back in.
That
one?
was a performance of massive overacting.
Don't ever say the daughter bits again.
Yeah. Fake names on a roll.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't have to.
Pot of the plant. Nice kitchen, dude. Nice kitchen, dude. Fake names, like taking names.
Yeah, I do have to clean up a little bit. I've been bringing stuff over, and I have. Well, you can't see it coming in that way, but I have a whole island full of just papers.
I mean, there was a lot of wrong with that movie, especially when it's coupled script with arguably two of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
ever
You watch
made.
Godfather 1, you watch Godfather 2, then you sit down for
Jesus
Godfather 3.
Christ.
Like, what the hell is this?
What is
shit?
wrong with you, Tom?
I couldn't believe who approved that movie because it didn't even feel like a Godfather movie.
It was approved because of Godfather
Edge,
1 and
Tom.
2.
You're Tom.
Yeah, but
Tom.
it felt like a straight to video, like I don't know, like what they were thinking type of a thing.
I'm not backing down on this argument.
It's like you go watch
Dash
Godfather
Dash
1 and 2
as a super,
over and over again, but Godfather 3, man, it's just like
Hey Tom.
Hey, Tom, there's
okay.
a lure called the Red Devil. It has a treble hook. You'll be able to run Paulie a lot longer. Use good thing.
That's fucked up.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's funny.
I used to like Dash. Thank you, Dash. Thank you. I'm changing my name. Hold on. Where's my take that off. I'm gonna change my name. Edit my name here. There. It's not a bad word. Tom?
Huh?
I didn't say it was a bad word.
Oh. No, well, you got to take off the things so you
Super
can see my
chat,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, gotcha.
Anyways, you ruined the bit.
You said you weren't going to rant.
No. You're pushing me, man. You're pushing me to... maybe me and Jesse can go do a stream later.
How dare you?
dude. The other day I was in Barnes and Noble and I see there's a book that Greta wrote, and I'm just like, who are you fooling? How are you gonna write a book if you can't read?
Like LeBron James, that first page.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Ghost written.
All right, since I think we're caught up on super chats, Paulie, you want to let
What?
everybody know? Yeah, what? You want to let everybody know the change we had come up with our
Oh shit!
stand and what the fuck? Who's stealing Paulie's car?
Somebody was about to get
All
shot.
right, well, we had to move
Let
up.
me just wait. Let me just wait.
Yeah, I'll wing it till then. We have a stand and deliver reunion coming up on Thursday. And we had to move it up a little bit. So remember, folks, it is a little earlier than we originally anticipated it being, but it's still happening on Thursday. So it'll be on at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I think.
Yep.
When Paulie gets back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, two things,
We're doing a
guys.
watch party?
Yeah, two things. I have a Zoot Suit Riot 78th anniversary special with a couple of cool guys on my channel. Then right after on Midnight's Edge Espanol, we're going to have the Stand and Deliver watch party. The third and final thing is get your asses Thursday, 10 a.m. to Midnight's Edge. Lou Diamond Phillips, Edward James Olmos. So we got action-packed stuff for you guys. I don't got time for no drama.
I'm trying to keep that shit for your mama.
I don't know where that shit came from.
We ain't got no time for no soy boys, no cucks, no blue-haired land whales, and all that business. Red-haired hypers.
I'm just
Look
hoping
at my
to
new
hear
toys.
some random stories out of Lou Diamond Phillips, man, because he's been around the block.
I mean,
What'd you get?
What, when you've been around that long, who doesn't have stories? He's incredibly humble and nice man. And my dealing with him this past week. So,
No, I mean, really, what's he got to be a jerk about, I mean, he's handsome, he's rich, he's had a good career.
Well,
Just don't call him La Bamba.
I'm looking forward to this Thursday.
Guy call him Chavez.
Chavez.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh, here we go.
Wait, is that the Ramirez one?
Uh-oh. No, that's the Connor.
Well, Connor Ramirez.
Well, it was Ramirez's first, and then
True that.
Yeah, mine's yellow. Gold.
Nerds unite.
I got to fix this, though. This is a little loose. But it also
that's not good.
It also comes with a short blade and a letter.
Short blade.
Yep. It's just like yours, Paulie. Yep.
So,
my dad gave me
fight?
this.
It's cool. Probably from the same place. Only this is the Connor Ramirez one, yeah. Because it has the
So,
same
are you guys going to have a fight on top of Tin Cup Studios?
Yes.
Because it's still there.
In the lightning storm, yes.
It's funny. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I worked at a factory for a while, and we were making electrical distribution boxes for the military and for the entertainment industry. And a lot of the stuff we made went straight to Tin Cup Studios. And every time I saw that, I was like, there can be only one.
There can be only one.
Oh, I love that movie.
Just get a thin line of copper wire there, a 9-volt battery connected to two guys.
Blue Beetle's trending.
Yeah?
Yep.
Awesome. There you go.
Well, it's an interesting character. They do it well.
Yeah, no, dude. The two legacy characters of the Blue Beetle are quite awesome. You got one that's like a gadgeteer, and the other one that's basically like a symbiote, artificial symbiote thing going on. So
they're all saying that this deserves a big, massive screen debut. Hey, if they complain enough, maybe it will get a big a screen debut.
Hey.
I mean, we weren't even thinking about the Blue Beetle for the last few weeks. So
Fake Name's got his money on me, by the way.
The thing is, like, technically, I mean, within the fandom circuits, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold have a bit more of an impact.
But Booster Gold is a hilarious character because he's such a
it's like a buddy cop thing, and But like, I mean, gosh, like, I remember when they tried to get Blue Beetle off the ground back in, I think it was 07 or 08.
Yeah, but you see, nobody knew who he was back then on a wide scale. It's like since then they've used him in a million cartoons and stuff and video games, so he's really spread out his exposure.
Well, they tried to do a backdoor pilot for his character in the Smallville series back then, and it was like they got an actor whose name I can't remember, but the costume was terrible. It was this giant, bulky, like fiberglass thing.
It looked like the live action Tick, basically.
Way worse than that.
I mean,
Oh, God.
there's a lot of people from discussing film to heroic Hollywood to a lot of other,
There you
people
go.
just complaining.
Well, maybe you should do a video, man.
I mean, listen, they're putting it through the production, so that's your first hurdle. Like, that's good.
Like, is any of this connected to Sparkly Batman? Because then it's going to fail.
They said Blue Beetle will be mid-budget, 75 to 90 million. That's pretty good
Pretty good, yeah.
for a first-time director.
Yeah.
Well, not first-time director, but
Well, it means it's like for an up-and-coming director, so to speak.
a very up-and-coming director.
Yeah.
This will be his claim here. Comic Book Now. I mean, there's a lot of people reporting on this now. All right.
Let's see.
It is trending. Maybe, hey Tom, maybe you can get Godfather 3 to trend.
I don't want to. Nikki D says, "Will the Eternals be good?" No. I can safely say you can put some money on that is a big ass no. Probably not. It could be, but
Look, the only reason that I hope that the Eternals does well is that I have the #1 comic. Beyond that, I don't care.
yeah, Jesse just wants it to do well so he can sell it and buy a hot tub.
Yeah, I just want it to appreciate in value because I'm leaving my son a big pile of stuff after I die.
Cool.
That's what my dad's doing right now. Leaving me a big pile of his collection.
It's nice stuff, though.
He's got some good stuff.
Now,
He's
Polly,
got
have
some
you seen the movie Miss Bala by the writer of the Blue Beetle? 'Cause I haven't checked it out yet.
you know what? I need to see it. It's been out a few years now, right? Gina
I like the
Rodriguez.
cast. Yeah.
Is it Gina Rodriguez?
Yep. Gina Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah. I need, it's like I got to turn in my fucking Latino card because I haven't seen some of these fucking movies.
Well, I mean, they're not always heavily advertised. Like I barely remember Miss Bala when it came out.
No, I need to see it.
You're required to see everything, Paulie.
No,
Yeah.
no. Well,
Like, only Tarantino sees everything.
Here's my stance. The Latino slant. Well, it's like I can't talk about stuff I don't see. And the only way we can get better movies is that we give these movies our dollar. So like that being said, I paid for the movie Blast Beat, which I reviewed. Highly recommend that movie, Blast Beat.
All right.
And it's a kind of your not typical coming of age. Yeah. But no, Miss Bala, did he write it?
Yeah. He was the sole writer with it. We worked with Catherine Hardwick.
Yeah, he's got chops. And his other movie went to Sundance a couple of years ago, right?
He has a lot of short films that he's written and directed. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name again?
His
Is it
name
Sanchez?
is Gareth Dunnett Alcocer, I think, or Alcocer.
Yeah, let me look it up. That's the writer separate than the direct. That's a different person.
Yeah. He's the writer. He's done a lot of short films, and he's got Miss Bala was his first feature, and Blue Beetle is he's hired. He's hired as a screenplay guy for it. But I think I've got. Hold on, let me grab his. I gotta get the proper IMDb stuff, right? Not my Discord stuff. Here we go.
And then fake name, I think you're right, that Nikki D wants us to talk a little bit about Eternals. Actually, she wants to pick Script Doctor's brain about it, I guess.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts so far on Eternals?
I've only read like 2 of the Eternals comics, so I don't know a whole lot of on them. I think Marvel's trying to go for a Guardians of the Galaxy angle with them on this type. I don't know. It's too early to tell. I mean, one of the best parts, but also worst parts about Marvel Studios is that they can really keep a tight lid on all their stuff they're doing. It's tricky get some spoilers from this unless someone really doesn't like the project and they just start leaking little bits here and there. But so far, I haven't heard anything on Eternals. I was not impressed with the trailer because it didn't set up anything for me to be interesting in.
No,
I mean,
my problem with the trailer was that I don't like I hate to say this about people, I haven't even seen the performance, but I don't like the actors they picked. They don't look like ancient beings. They don't look like gods. They look like some skinny guy from, the hardware store. They're not impressive, not remarkable. Just doesn't pop. Just doesn't give me a good feeling. It's like if you're going to tell me that somebody's like
goddess,
yeah, but she's hot. But I mean, everybody else in that movie, it's just I can't tell one of them from another. Honestly, I don't know who the male lead is.
I mean, you get confused between Kit Harington and Richard Madden because they look alike.
yeah, and it's like whoever the guy is who's like, oh, I could lead the Avengers, and everybody's like, ha ha ha. Well, that is a big joke because I don't know who the hell you are, and you're not memorable. That's not a good thing to point out in your trailer.
Yeah. All right, kids. Let's wrap this up. Polly's got some ribs to eat. I'm gonna find some supper.
Yeah,
Anybody got any shows going on tonight or anything? Paulie, you got anything coming up tonight? Or
I might do a late night rant on some bullshit.
All right. Well,
we'll see.
Check out his channel. Jesse, you doing anything later?
I don't know. I might stream a game or something, but I'm most likely going to go back to sleep because it's going to be another long day today.
You probably should. And script that out. You're going to be streaming it all tonight, or you got
might
shows
not,
coming
but
up?
I do know that one of the guys from over at Comics Division's channels, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, is doing a Commando thing later tonight. So I might, if I'm still awake, I'm definitely going to listen in on that. And if I've got the energy, I'll pop in maybe. But
that guy's a
just
hack.
check out on Twitter.
Guy's a freaking hack.
Yeah,
I love him. I love him. Just
all right.
Yeah.
So all the guys' links are in the description. So please check out their channels. You may find something there you like. Techman Blade right now, MEAD Radio is shut down for the next 2 days yet. So
did you get in trouble?
Yeah. Community guideline strike.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't start. We're closing the show.
Yeah. Polly's got to go.
I'll go. You guys can keep talking.
No, we're going to go. We're going to go. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. See you on Thursday at the same bat time and same bat.